have some more points because we didn't have to have the opportunity to rest some players, because some players were also on the edge of being tired or being injured. So it's not easy all the time, but yeah, now almost everybody is back, and it gives also a different feeling in the group. When you start, you want to go as far as possible. The main objective always is to win when you start a cup. It's not always possible, but okay, we are here in the semi-finals, so I'm looking forward to the other games, and hopefully we will do good.
Well, just how good has Kevin been since he's come back? I want to get the thoughts on the fans on KDB, and also ahead of a massive game here against Madrid on Tuesday night. Tony, you're first up. First of all, KDB, how good has he been recently?
Oh, he's been fantastic. I think we really missed him when he got injured, and he's really turned us round, and we're back on form, and we've had a good run while he's been back in the team, and I think going forward, you know, on Tuesday night, he can make the big difference. He's a big game player as well.
I think he is the difference. He is the quality player we've got in the team, apart from Sergio. But since he's come back, he's been the main man, and he's just class, isn't he? You know, so it's been a different team since he's come back into the side, and he could be our difference. He could be our Ronaldo on Tuesday.
I think he can make a great assist for the next game, and I think his action can make the difference between winning or losing.
He's been absolutely fantastic. His distribution, the way he reads the game, the way he strikes the ball has been absolutely world class. I think he's probably one of the best players around at the moment.
The Premiership could have ended completely different if De Bruyne didn't get injured that time. Yeah. But hey, you know, there's always next year. See what happens this year. Yeah. But please God, you know. Yeah. But it could have been completely different if he had been out injured for them few weeks.
What are your thoughts on Tuesday night? What do we need to be looking out for, Tony? And what can you give us a little prediction?
I think we'll win, and I think we'll see him off over the two legs. I'm really confident.
Quality team, aren't they? We've just got to defend well, keep tight at the back, and keep them out. You know, they're a quality team. They're not in the semi-final for nothing, and it's not just Ronaldo we've got to watch out for. We've just got to play well, keep tight at the back, and hopefully we can get something out of the game.
Well, it's going to be difficult, but I guess with company, I think he will get it.
Just go, believe in themselves, and go out and play like they can win it. You know, don't let anyone make them feel that they can't do it. We can do it, and let's do it, you know. Go out like fires and score goals and make us all very happy.
It's going to be very difficult for our defence, especially if we haven't got company. It depends whether he's still fit enough.
Jan, what about Ronaldo? How do we deal with him?
Ooh, tricky one that. Yeah. Not quite sure.
Did you want to say something else?
I want to say something else.
Right.
It's I'm from Holland, so I want to support. I'm with my football team over there, okay. And we want to support Teylingen Zaterdag. It's a Saturday football club. I just wanted to tell that on television.
Brilliant. Well, welcome to your team, and hope it's a win for you today, boys. Brilliant.
Welcome back, and Paul, I believe you've got the Stoke team.
I do indeed, yeah. A couple of ex-Blues in the starting 11. Shay Given in goal, of course, and Glenn Whelan in the middle of the midfield. And the man who cast your mind back to this game last season. I don't think it was quite as sunny as this Mame Biram Diouf got the goal down at that end that saw Stoke win by a goal to nil in a game that City largely dominated. So
no Stephen Ireland?
No Stephen Ireland, doesn't make the bench today. So the starting 11 then for Stoke, Shea in goal, as we know. Bardsley, Shawcross, Volshite, Muniesa, Jeff Cameron, Glenn Whelan, Arnautovic, who also offers an awful lot on the left-hand side for Stoke City. He's been in excellent form this season. He is a danger man. Pablo will have to be on form today, on his best form to negate that threat from Arnautovic, who's been excellent all year. Gianelli and Bula as well in the midfield. There's going to be a real midfield battle there. And Joselu, that's the starting 11 for Stoke City. A tough game, I think, today for Manchester City. But similarly to last season, you know, we come into this game with City on a good run of form and Stoke having not enjoyed things really of late in the Premier League, but it was the same last year and Stoke went home back to the Potteries with all 3 points. So City have to be on their game today.
Yeah, and they're notoriously always tough opposition, aren't they? They always give us a good... They did beat us earlier on in the season, so with a score to settle there. But they always very well organised. Mark Hughes and Mark Bowen, Edwin Zwicky's staff are very thorough in the preparation during the week. And every team that goes out for Stoke is very competitive, and they're always tough opposition, but hopefully we've got enough to beat them.
Yeah, well, hopefully. Mark Hughes has an excellent record against Manchester City, which I'm sure there's an added extra incentive for him to come back to the Etihad and get a positive result. Let's hope that the 11 that our manager today has picked is enough to make sure that we get all 3 points and charge on for that top 4 finish.
And there is, of course, the argument that Stoke really haven't much to play for anymore this season. I mean, they've probably had the best season ever in the Premier League, but it's not vital that they get 3 points today. So that could be an added, just a bit of a bonus for us.
Well, theoretically, but it doesn't often work like that, Chappie, as you know. You know, Mark Hughes and his staff and the ex-City players will be motivated when they come here, more motivated, arguably, than anywhere else they go this season. So it's a tough game, make no bones about that. Very, very tough. And I think if City are able to get the win today, it will be a very, very important 3 points, particularly with our neighbours not playing in the Premier League this weekend. They have an FA Cup semi-final against Everton to negotiate.
Are they?
Well, apparently so. I read that somewhere this morning.
Anyway, unimportant. Yeah, and obviously some of our players will be playing today to hope they get to play on Tuesday as well. So everybody will be pulling out the stops. And I think it just gives us a slight advantage.
It's important, and Manuel Pellegrini in his programme notes today has said as much, that we concentrate today. It's very difficult to ignore what's coming up on Tuesday evening. Of course, it's a massive, massive game in the season and in the history of this football club. So while it's difficult to ignore that completely, you're right, it is an extra motivation for those players who maybe start today with a view to them not starting the game on Tuesday. But who knows, if they put in an excellent performance today, then they might get the nod on Tuesday. And it's for the first time in a long, long time, City have almost a clean bill of health in terms of injuries. Only Samir Nasri, with a slight muscle strain, misses out for today. And of course, he's not in the Champions League squad because of that injury that he suffered earlier in the season. So important to perform for many, many reasons, maybe on a personal level for some of the players, to ensure that they give the manager something to really think about ahead of Tuesday evening's game.
Yeah, but as Mr. Pellegrini always says, let's concentrate on the next game.
Absolutely.
And talking about this game, let's see what a day in the Mancunian suite's like.
Yes, indeed. Well, today I'm going to give you just a little flavour of what a match day experience is like here in one of our most popular suites, the Mancunian. Now, there's a particular theme that runs through this suite, as you will see, and that theme is music. There's plenty more to see inside, but it all starts here, as you can see on the podium, with this LP shape and the 11 circles representing the 11 players on the pitch. Now, we're going to go inside to meet our hospitality manager, Ruud, who'll tell us a little bit more. Hi Ruud, I know you're busy, but do you mind if we have a quick chat?
Hi.
So tell me this, Ruud, it's 2 hours before kick-off. There's a meeting going on behind us. We've just walked through the staff. Just tell us what's going on at the moment. moment.
Okay, so Gary, the restaurant manager, is in the middle of the match day briefing. So before chef has just left the room now, talking to the guys about the wonderful menu that we'll be offering to our guests today, and is basically talking about the plan for today.
Just tell us a bit more about the suite, Ruud. How many does it hold, and presumably it gets very busy?
So the Mancunian suite is a nice and vibrant sort of environment. We have approximately 240 covers that can be held in this area. Today we're expecting about 230. It tends to get quite fairly busy.
Sure. Now it's an early kick-off today, as we said, 12:45. So presumably the menu varies depending on what time the game's at.
Exactly. So chef will be writing some wonderful menus depending on the game. Sometimes they get themed with European nights and different kind of things. So today, it being a 12:45 kickoff, we have a lovely brunch themed menu. So it'll be something quite light and very delicious for our guests to enjoy.
And how many staff would be here on a match day, roughly, Ruud?
It's quite fairly heavy on staff, to be perfectly honest. We have approximately 36 people working between the floor, the kitchen and the bar. And obviously that doesn't include the chefs in the kitchen. It's about 7 chefs preparing the food for all these.
And just finally, what do you think is the most appealing thing about this suite?
It's lovely. I mean, you have everything, the theming in the room, the view. It's all based around Manchester, the music. I think it's very an enjoyable place to work, and it's very bright, and it's a nice space.
Thank you, Ruud. We're going to take a look around. Is that okay? Thank you. Well, as you can see, the musical theme continues as you walk through the bar. Here you can see this beautiful blue beaded sound wave, an actual recording of the fans singing Blue Moon. There's also lots of lovely modern artwork inside, a lot of which represents some of the club's best known players. And this, I have to say, is a personal favourite. It's Niall Quinn's Disco Pants. Well, as you can see, we've just come inside the kitchen. It's very, very busy as the doors are just about to open. Chef, we're not going to keep you long. Just tell us what's on the menu today.
Okay, today we have tomato and basil soup. We have air-cured beef bresaola, kiln-smoked Scottish salmon, main course, smoked haddock. We have the full Monty breakfast, baked portobello mushrooms, roast sirloin of beef with eggs.
And a little dessert if you fancy it as well.
We have a little dessert, banana mascarpone, rhubarb and vanilla mousse, or bitter chocolate mousse, all made by Nathan, our fabulous pastry chef.
Fantastic, Nathan. Sounds good. Thank you, Mike. And as you can see, the menus are themed, so depending on where you're sitting, you will have a player's name. Can you turn that around for us, Mike? So no guesses for who that player is, but it's a nice little thing that you can take home as well after your trip here to Mancunian. Well, not only do you get to enjoy the wonderful food, music and atmosphere inside, but a ticket to the Mancunian also guarantees you one of the best seats in the house. These seats are situated just behind the director's box, and just look at the view. But what a fantastic experience it is. I definitely could have spent the day there. And if you fancy spending the day in the Mancunian or in any of our other suites, all of the details you need are on the City website. Now, this week has been Kick It Out Week, and my colleague Hugh is with Keely Baptista from the organisation, which aims to eradicate racism and discrimination in the game.
Stripped and ready to go, but unfortunately she was not called upon. It's a big day for Kick It Out today as Manchester City do their bit to make you aware of everything that Keely, as the professional game manager at Kick It Out, does every single day of the year. She is essentially in charge of every single Premier League and Football League club and helps them make sure that they kick it out, as City are doing today. Hello, Keely. So listen, tell me a little bit about what essentially is a campaign that's going from strength to strength. We'll see the guys in the T-shirts today.
Today you'll see Manchester City's support of the campaign, and as you said, we work with all 92 professional clubs. We don't just work within the professional game, we also work in grassroots and community, as well as reporting and education. But today is about City's support. It gives them a platform to demonstrate their work that they're doing themselves to promote inclusion and equality throughout the club.
And I know you're very proud and supportive of the work that City in particular do, because it's not necessarily something that the clubs have to do, but they do a lot, don't they?
Yeah, absolutely. As of this year, it's become a Premier League regulation that clubs have to do it. But in my time at Kick It Out, I've been working with Manchester City for a number of years, and they've just gone from strength to strength. You know, you've seen the rise of Manchester City women's team. Tony Duggan is one of our ambassadors. Yaya Toure is also one of our ambassadors. So we do an awful lot of work, Manchester City, on and off the field. And today is just about promoting that on the field as well as through the messages of the programme and the big screen and etc.
Well, it's a lot to look forward to on the pitch, and that's just one of the things that I know the club and you are very proud of everything that the players do, and it'll be picked up by all the TV cameras, of course, broadcast all over the world. Keely, thank you very much indeed. We have to keep it brief because you weren't in a boy band and the next guest was. I hope you don't mind.
Thankfully.
Yes, suffering by comparison, I know. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you to Keely.
Well, I'm delighted that joining me now is former Blue and Premier League club support manager Paul Lake. Thanks for joining us, Paul. Just to talk about last night's FA Youth Cup final, first leg. What were your thoughts on the 1-1 draw?
Well, I thought it was a good performance by City. Chelsea probably are known as being the favourites, very technically and tactically strong, very astute in how they play, and they combated City's formation quite well. So Jason Wilcox and the guys had a huge challenge in front of them. They're playing a lot of the younger players, 2 16-year-olds on City's side as well. So all things considered, they coped with the game well. The fans were great. It was an exciting game, especially second half when it really opened up. And I thought probably on reflection, 1-1 was a fair result.
And showed great character, Paul, after going 1-0 behind.
Yeah, exactly, and that's what Jason Wilcox has instilled in these players. You know, that never said attitude. It probably comes from Sergio's goal 4 years ago. That attitude is ever present now in all of our young sides, and hopefully they can use the performance of Arsenal to take to Stamford Bridge and get a good result.
Here's hoping, Paul. Thank you so much for your thoughts. Now it's time to pass back to Paul and Chappie in the commentary position.
Thank you, Nicola. So, reaction from Paul Lake there about the FA Cup, the FA Youth Cup final first leg last night. Did you see the game, Chappie?
I did indeed.
What did you think?
I've not seen a lot of the youth team play this season, but I was very impressed with quite a few of the players. Young Diaz looks very Messi-like. Davenport, Charlie Oliver, the big centre-half whose name's unpronounceable, excellent. In general, they played really well. I mean, Chelsea, I think they've won it twice on the trot, the Youth Cup.
They're a very big physical side. They look to be...
they look like men.
They do indeed.
I think this is the third time they've been in the... They've won it the last 2 years. This could be the third time they win it, but not that many of them have really progressed near the first team. Hopefully that will be a different story for us. I can imagine 1, 2 or 3 of those players actually developing into the first team in not too near distant future.
You mentioned Brahim, who was exceptional last night, and it was a really good fight back from City after tough early stages of the match.
Yeah, I suppose that I've not seen the stats, but the possession probably about similar percentage, both first and second half, and I thought we held our own equally as well as they did. They had their main striker missing, of course, but they are a good side. They've got some great youngsters, but it's a great reflection on the standard of our lads too.
Do you think then a 1-1 draw here at the mini Etihad yesterday evening, it puts City in a good position, doesn't it, going into the second game?
Yeah, it'd been obviously preferable if we'd won the game, but with nothing to fear going there, we're quite capable of beating them on their own ground. There's no danger of that.
Okay, well, we'll hand you back to Nicola now for a brief fan chat before more build-up to this afternoon's game in the Premier League.
Yes, well, I'm joined by father and son duo, Tony and Tom. Thanks for joining us, guys. It's just gone very windy here at the front of the Etihad Stadium. That sun is deceiving. Guys, we've just had a look at the team. Tony, your thoughts on the starting 11?
Yeah, well, I think it's a good, strong team. Nice to see Silva back.
Yep.
Yeah, it's a strong team. Aguero's playing, so they're not leaving anybody out really for Tuesday, but obviously Kompany's looks like he's being rested for Tuesday, and it'd be nice to see Shay Given back.
Yeah, exactly. It'd
be nice to see him.
Yeah, absolutely. He was a popular figure around here, wasn't he, Tony?
He was, yeah, and I've seen him on the TV, and he's always got a good word for City, which is nice.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, Tom, you happy with the starting 11? Nice to see Kelechi starting as well.
Yeah, it's good having the younger lads playing as well, especially because it's good attacking lineup with Silva and Aguero as well to support him. But it's also good defensive lineup as well, especially with Zabaleta in his 300th game, so it should be a good day for it, hopefully.
Now, yeah, we're fighting for our top 4 spot, Tony. So how big does that mean today is in terms of, especially with United not playing this weekend?
Well, points-wise, we've got to win. I think we've got to probably win all our games to make sure we're getting that 4th spot. It'd be a disaster if we don't qualify for the Champions League for next year, unless, of course, we win it.
Well, yeah, that's the other option. What do you think, Tom? What do you think? How big is it to get the 3 points today?
I think it's everything really, because, like you say, United are closing in behind as are other teams, but teams just got to go out and win as they can perform to the best that they can. So hopefully they'll get 3 points and do the job.
What do you think we need to look out for today, Tony? Stoke, of course, nothing really to fight for, 9th position, but we know that they're a strong side. What should we be looking out for, do you think?
Well, I think attacking-wise, they've lost a bit because Shaqiri's not playing.
Yeah.
But they played well against us when we played them at their ground, and I think we just can't be complacent. Just got to go out and put 100% in, not worry about Tuesday.
Yeah, well, exactly. We've got to put that out of our minds for the moment, but a massive game here on Tuesday night.
That's right, yeah, it'd be great. It'd be fantastic.
Do you fancy us?
Yeah, I do. Fancy us again. That was the team I would have picked, yeah.
Yeah, what about yourself, Tom?
Yeah, I think can do it, to do the job.
Good stuff. Now we'll finish, guys, just with a quick score prediction for today's game. What do you think, Tom?
2-0, City.
2-0.
Yeah.
Happy days. Tony?
Yeah, 4-1.
4-1.
Oh yeah, always go big. Always go big. Yeah.
Who's going to score those 4?
I think Silver will get 1.
Okay.
Iheanacho's playing, isn't he? I think he'll get a couple. And
nice.
yeah.
And yeah. Right, okay. No Sergio among that?
Yeah, I said him first, didn't I? Did I?
No, Silva.
Oh, sorry, yeah. No, he'll be having a rest, Sergio, today.
Having a rest.
Yeah,
might get a couple of
assists.
Get
him on Tuesday.
Get him on Tuesday. Okay, brilliant. Thank you very much, guys. Now we're going to hear from some of our players and their thoughts on Tuesday night's game against Madrid.
Well, Kev, of course we know it's Real in the Champions League semi-final. What do you think about that draw?
Yeah, I don't think there was a possibility to have an easy team, so yeah, it's a nice draw.
We're going to play against a difficult team to play against, but at that stage of the competition, anyone will be difficult.
Now it's time to really show the world what we can do and go out there and give a good performance against Real Madrid.
Real Madrid is one of those teams who've been playing in for so many years. I think they won the most trophies in the Champions League, so you know, it's going to be very exciting, so I'm really looking forward to it.
Obviously the first leg is going to be at home. Is that an advantage for us, or would you say that's a disadvantage?
I think it's maybe better to play away the first leg.
To me it doesn't matter, because if we ever play here, we're going to have to play the same game and win, try to win away, and at home even more with the fans. I'm sure we're going to have a great atmosphere and we're going to have to deliver a great performance.
The pressure is everywhere, but I would say the more important is for us is to do a good job the first game and then finish the job there, but that's not just the word, but we need to do it on the pitch.
Okay, it's that way, so we have to start very strongly and see what's going to happen afterwards.
You know, we need the same support from the fans like in the last game. I think they've been great at the Etihad, so especially playing the first game at home, it means that we have to get a good result. Try to play well, not concede goals, because that will be a key for the second leg.
It'll certainly be a busy game for you, won't it, with one of the most prolific goal scorers in Ronaldo?
Yeah, if I get to play, I try my best to stop him from playing, from shining like he did in the last game.
I don't think Real is only Ronaldo. Obviously, he's the main man over there, but we'll see what happens.
When you face those teams, I think it's you know, great. As a player, it's one of those games you always dream to play.
It was obviously disappointing being out of the team against PSG and not being able to help your teammates, but they were fantastic over the 2 legs, and I'm just happy I'm working, and hopefully I could be fit for the Real Madrid game and firing.
And just finally, Will, can you believe it? Are you kind of pinching yourself now that we're here, we're about to go into the semi-final?
Yeah, it will be a great game, so we never know what's going to be there, but we hope then we make a good result.
You know, I've been here for a long time, and I think it was a great, you know, step forward for this football club to go into the semi-final of the Champions League. This is a competition that we'll be playing in for 5 years now, and always trying to improve. And I think you know, is a really exciting moment for the players, for the club, you know, for everyone.
I think now is the moment to enjoy it and try to perform good.
So confidence then, Chappie, from the City players, and also a bit of a realistic approach. I mean, footballers rarely drop bombshells in interviews with modern media training and things like this. I mean, you're a man on the inside of the club. You work with the players every day. Is there a genuine confidence going into this semi-final against Real Madrid on Tuesday?
Very much so. I think Kevin De Bruyne just made a point there. It's better to play the first leg away first, which I probably agree with most of the lads do. But the excitement is there. I mean, this is the furthest we've got in the Champions League in the club's history, and the semi-final against Real Madrid in the Champions League doesn't get much better than that. So they're all looking forward to it.
It was a strange situation to be in for the new City ahead of the quarter-final against PSG. It's been a while since City were underdogs and indeed written off completely before the tie against, or rather by some sections of the press, by the majority, I think. But to come through that tie, particularly with that performance in the second leg, it really felt like City had arrived on the big stage in the Champions League.
Yeah, absolutely, and as well, getting everybody in the squad fit, I think, is vital. You know, we've missed key players at key stages in this season. Vincent Kompany, David Silva, Aguero. You know, these are vital players if you want to go far in the Champions League, and hopefully everybody will be okay for Tuesday. It looks as though everybody's fit. You can see the team selection today is with that game in mind. Definitely resting Kompany, resting Aguero. But although today is a vital game, we need the 3 points. We've got to finish in that top 4. It's a massive game in the club's history next Tuesday.
I'm really looking forward to it. Like I said, it really felt like City had arrived with that win against PSG. City showed real fight and a lot of quality as well.
Better team. They were a better team over the 2 games.
Absolutely. It's fantastic to be there, but of course nobody remembers a losing semi-finalist. How important is it to go on and make that final in Milan at the end of May?
Well, it's the ambition and the dream of every player, every fan and every member who works for Manchester City. It's reaching the Champions League final, the ultimate, and winning it obviously is the ultimate, of course. So they'll be determined to make that final, that's definite. I mean, they've got a tough game. Real Madrid, they've been in this position so many times before. Great players. Ronaldo, unbelievable goal scorer.
Ronaldo got a bit of an injury though, didn't he, in midweek?
Did he?
A thigh injury.
Is it serious?
Yes. Well, let's hope it's not too minor.
Let's hope it's not terminal. No, let's hope it's semi-serious.
I mean,
so he misses the game.
It would be even if they risk him at 3/4 fit, surely that would be to City's advantage. And he was taken off in that game midweek holding his hamstring, and as you know, a hamstring is not
It's not an overnight
thing. To recover in 2 or 3 days.
One thing I'll say about Ronaldo in his favour is he very, very rarely gets injured.
And he's an incredible physical specimen. He's a
amazing,
machine, isn't he?
Amazing. Even if he was 3/4 fit, I don't think they'd risk him in the first leg anyway.
No. And Kevin De Bruyne said, and yourself, you just said as well, that I mean, ideally you want to play that first leg away from home.
Yeah.
But that all depends on the result.
Absolutely.
If City can get a 1-0 victory here on Tuesday evening and to take to Madrid, we've been to Madrid in the Champions League not too long ago, and it was a late goal that ultimately disappointed City fans. I was there in the Bernabeu. It was a wonderful experience, but this time it's not about the experience, it's about going and winning the tie, isn't it?
Yeah. And this team, everybody fit, this squad is capable of beating any team on the night. Teams have off nights, teams have good nights. If we can have a good night and Real Madrid aren't actually 100% on the game, we could go there with more than 1 goal.
Well, I think that you're right, City have to perform at their best, and we've seen that intermittently this season. But when City are at their best, they're unbeatable. And even a team like Real Madrid, I'm sure, will have one eye on City and we'll be worried.
And I think probably since the first 5 or 6 games of the league season, we've saved our best performances for the Champions League.
Which, given the last 2 or 3 years, is something of a surprise, I suppose.
It is indeed.
So let's get a view from one of the journalists in attendance today at the Etihad Stadium. We'll pass you back to Nicola, who's with Martin Blackburn.
Thank you, Paul. Yes, I am indeed here with Martin Blackburn of the Sun newspaper. Martin, first of all, we've just had a look at today's starting 11. Anything surprise you there?
There's 1 or 2 little surprises there, Nick. Yeah, I think you know, the fact that there's no Vincent Kompany either in the team or on the bench is perhaps a little bit of a surprise, but maybe done with Tuesday in mind. David Silva back. That'll be very much welcomed by City fans, but it's Kevin De Bruyne who's made way for him. So yeah, he's got a chance to put his feet up. He's not too long back from injury himself, so that'll probably do him good again ahead of Tuesday night. And of course our old friend Zaba making his 300th appearance, so no doubt he'll get a good hand from the fans.
Yeah, big day for Zaba, that, isn't it? Another milestone for the adopted Mancunian.
Exactly, yeah. I've been reading a feature about him in the programme. There's not a lot you can say about him really that hasn't been said already. He's been a great servant to this club, and I think there's a little bit of doubt whether he'll be here next year, but I'm sure virtually every City fan out there will be hoping that he is, so let's wait and see.
Absolutely, Martin. Now, you mentioned Kevin De Bruyne, and I spoke to Kevin yesterday briefly, and he is tired, understandably. Not only has he been playing a lot of minutes on the pitch, there's a lot of media, and he's a new father as well. So it is nice to see him getting a rest, especially ahead of Tuesday.
I think so, yeah. I mean, since he came back at the start of the month, he's made such a difference, Nick. You know, he's really been sort of influential in the turnaround of City's season. So they'll want him fully fit and firing against Madrid, and because he's on the bench, you know, a bit like against West Brom, City were struggling a little bit, and midway through the second half, he came on and helped set up Nasri's winner. So, you know, I'm sure that the manager will have that in mind, that he is there if he needs him. But, you know, hopefully for everybody here that he can have the whole 90 minutes off.
I hope so. So, Martin, let's talk a little bit about Stoke. I know there's no Shaqiri on the team sheet. I don't know what's happened there, but he's been a threat this season, so it's good for us that he's not there.
Yeah, that's right. I mean, they're coming off the back of 2 fairly heavy defeats against Tottenham and Liverpool, but you know, they really did a job on City back in December, so they certainly can't take this one lightly. Shaqiri was one of the men who caused City a lot of problems at the Britannia, so they won't be too sorry to see that he's not there. But I think the defence has been struggling, and that'll be something that City will be looking to capitalise on. I think there's goals in there for them, you know, if they're on the game today, for sure.
And what about Arnautovic? He's been on form as well. We need to look out for him.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I mean, he's had an interesting season. He's a bit of a character. I think he's a mate of Mario Balotelli's, isn't he? So that probably tells you all you need to know about him. But yeah, again, on his day, he's a real threat, and City are going to have to watch out for him. You know, they've Mark Hughes, of course. Everybody here knows Mark Hughes, and he's put a bit of flair perhaps into what was a fairly functional Stoke team. So yeah, having had those 2 defeats, they'll be coming here today and hoping to put it right. So City are going to have to be on the game. They can't just focus on Tuesday night because there's still work to do to get in that top 4.
Yeah, and just Kelechi Iheanacho as well. Nice to see him. A lot of people have been asking for him to start, and fans I know have been getting behind him. So it'll be interesting to see what he does today.
It will be interesting. Yeah, I think you know, the few glimpses that we've had of him, everybody's been very impressed by him. So it's good to see him get that start. I think you know, he possibly you know, he may not start against Real Madrid on Tuesday, looking at that, but yeah, he's got a big future here, Nick. There's no doubt about that, and he's got talent. He seems to have the lot, really. You look at young players down the road at Manchester United are perhaps getting more of the headlines, but he's as good as any of them, I think.
Yeah, agreed, Martin. Agreed. Just finally, then, can I push you for a score prediction today?
Yeah, I'll go for 2-0 City. I think. Yeah, I think as I say, I think it's very important that they do win, just to you know, just to put a bit more daylight between themselves and United back in 5th place, and it's, you know, it's a little bit of an awkward game because with Tuesday looming, just need to get that win.
Thank you very much, Martin. Well, someone who will be certainly hoping for a win today and take all 3 points is our manager, Manuel Pellegrini. Let's hear from the man himself.
You have the Premier League, you have the Champions League. How important is getting a result on Saturday for both those competitions?
Very important, because I think that we are involved in the semi-final Champions League, But that doesn't mean that we are not worried about the Premier League. I think it's important for this team always, and not just for our team. I think that all the big team must be always trying to reach the final of the Champions League, but always be involved in the domestic games and the domestic league and try to win it. So for us, it's very important to be in a spot for the Champions League next year and try to continue winning the semi-final of this year.
You hinted at it last week. Is it now a fight for Manchester City for third or fourth? Is second now too far away because of the result on Wednesday night?
Well, there's a lot of result that you must expect. The only result that you can do it are your own games. So you need to win. Your points, winning our points, we are going to be in the third position of the table. That's why it's important to have good performance, important to play well, and I hope that tomorrow we are going to add 3 points more.
But has that performance perhaps on Wednesday night also put pressure to get a win tomorrow ahead of a very big game next week?
No, the pressure is exactly the same. We can't expect that the other team must lose so we can have our spot in Champions League. The only way to do it is win our games.
I understand that you want to win against Stoke, but in doing that, your players may either risk injury or be a bit more tired than they would be.
No, I think that you have a risk of an injury always. In the second term, I think that for big teams, you cannot choose one competition. You see all the big teams every year, Real Madrid or Barcelona or Bayern Munich, all the teams that are involved always in their domestic title and in the final of the Champions League. If for some reason they must be eliminated, that can happen in a cup, because with a knockout stage you can play bad a game and you are out. Barcelona is out, but he's in his domestic league and he's fighting for the title and he's in the final of the cup. So it's very important not to leave one competition away to try to win just one. It's important for our team in this moment to reach as near the table as we can, at the top of the table, and try to beat Real Madrid.
I suppose the Premier League, the argument is that the Premier League is more physical than any other league, and therefore the players expend more energy.
Yes, of course, it's very physical, maybe demanding more energy. That's why I think it's also important to make some rotation, because as I said 2 weeks ago, we need to play. I'm not talking about the final of the champion. Without the final, we need to play 8 games in 30 days. So if we continue with the same player the 30 days, playing each 3 days, of course, maybe the last three or 2 games, you are not going to be with the energy that you need. But it's important to make some rotation, but it's important to not to put the whole team out waiting for the game on Tuesday.
So, Chappie, press conferences tend to be fairly formulaic. Of course, Manuel Pellegrini is going back to one of his previous clubs in Real Madrid in this semi-final of the Champions League. He spoke about potential of 8 games in the next 30 days, and I think that today's team sheet is reflective of that.
Yeah, I got it wrong before. I thought Aguero had been rested, but he's playing, isn't he? Which is slightly surprising. But
well, I think Aguero is the kind of player that would not demand to play, but would really
won't give him 90 minutes. Oh, of course he wants to play. Let's hope he gets hat-trick in the first half, then he can bring him off in the second.
Exactly.
But yeah, I mean, manager nearly always concentrates on the game in hand. He doesn't think about the games in the future. In this instance, because it's such a massive game against Real Madrid, semi-final of the Champions League, he's certainly got that in the back of his mind, hence the mittance of Kompany and De Bruyne. De Bruyne's not playing, is he?
De Bruyne is playing.
I'm testing. Yeah, he's definitely got that in his mind, but it is a vital game today. We need the 3 points. We've got to finish in that top 4.
Not to second-guess the manager at all, of course, but are you surprised at all that maybe Vincent Kompany is not on the bench? Would you have maybe given him half an hour to keep him fresh? Or
No.
No?
He's trained at the training ground today. He'll have done what he needs to do in preparation for Tuesday's game. I wouldn't risk him in this game with him such a vital key ingredient in our team, especially against Real Madrid in the semi-final of the Champions League. I certainly would have kept him out of this game. Don't risk the recurrence of his calf injury. He's done enough training today to keep himself fresh in preparation for the game on Tuesday, so I think he's done exactly the right thing.
I know that this, well, not just the making the last four of the Champions League, but going beyond that has been the ambition of this club for quite some time now. But it's still quite surreal to hear Manchester City's name in with the Bayerns and the Real Madrids and the Atletico Madrids in the really at the crunch end of the Champions League season, don't you think?
Yeah, it's good, isn't it?
It's really good.
You never envisaged this about 7-8 years ago, would you? But now it's a reality. Now we've got the financial backing. We can attract the best players. The further we go in this competition, the better the players you can attract, because they'll all want to come here. If they know we're competing and getting to the final of the Champions League as well as winning the Premier League, this is the place to be.
In the last few weeks, when City have picked up the kind of form that we've expected over longer periods this season, I suppose arguably the two most influential, important players in that run have been Kevin De Bruyne and Sergio Aguero. Do you think we'll see 90 minutes from both today?
Depending on the result and how the game's going, I would hope that neither of them will see out 90 minutes.
Because we won't need them to.
Hopefully, yeah. There's another player we need to really mention, I think, and Joe Hart. He's proved, you saw at Newcastle the block saves, you've seen numerous one-on-one blocking saves from him, apart from all the other assets and attributes that he's got as a goalkeeper. He's a phenomenal goalkeeper. He's definitely England's #1 and probably in the top 5 in the world. So I think it'd be a bit remiss if we didn't mention his contribution to the team.
You know,
it's vital.
When somebody of the calibre of Gianluigi Buffon is talking about Joe Hart in glowing terms, then that just goes to show the kind of player, the kind of goalkeeper that we've got.
Not to take anything off Willie, of course. He performed great in the cup final and stuff. He's a very capable goalkeeper, but Joe's the one, isn't he?
Well, with Otamendi and Mangala forming the central defensive partnership so frequently, and with the chopping and changing of the fullbacks, maybe Joe Hart's role is slightly understated, would you say?
Yeah, well, he influences all the back four. He influences all the back four, doesn't he, of course, with his talking and his coaching and everything. So whoever's in that back four, he helps. But yeah, it's great.
It's an exciting few days ahead and a exciting few minutes ahead as well, with kick-off nearing. But for now, we will hand you back to Nicola with a few views of some of the fans.
Yes, well, joining me here is season ticket holder Jack. Thanks for speaking to us today, Jack. A beautiful day, the sun is out, sunny Manchester. All we need now is 3 points. What are you thinking? What are your thoughts?
I reckon City will win, I think we'll win 3-1. I reckon Aguero will score a couple. I don't think we'll keep a clean sheet, but I think it'll be a good game. 3 points for City. We'll get that third spot.
We've just been watching the lads warm up. Jack, any surprises in the starting 11 or in the squad for you today?
I'm pleased Kelechi started. I think he's been in brilliant form. I think he should get more game time, to be honest. But yeah, I think we'll win this game comfortably.
And I was just speaking to a journalist about Kelechi and the fact that the fans really have kind of been asking that he gets more time. So it's a really big opportunity for him today.
Yeah, well, it's a lad that's come through the youths. I think it's really good to see someone who's kind of started from a young kid and made his way into the first team squad. And he came on so dramatically when he scored that late goal against Crystal Palace. I was at that game and it was such a brilliant moment. So I think we'd like to see a lot more of him.
And we've seen, Jack, how he can link up so well with Sergio. When they play together, they do seem to really click.
Yeah, he's got fancy feet. I wish I had him.
So do I. So at the other end of the pitch, big day for Zaba, his 300th game. Are there any words for that man?
Oh, I love Pablo. Just letting you know, I do love you, Zaba. He's been here around about when the money came in, so he's been loyal, just like Joe Hart. Yeah, we've big love for Pablo Zabaleta.
I mean, it's a big day for him, another milestone, and as you say, he's just one of the fan favourites and will remain to be.
Oh, absolutely, yeah. No, we've got a big affection for Pablo Zabaleta.
Brilliant. Right, let's turn our attention to Stoke just for a second, Jack. What do you think the main threat is there today?
Well, I've got a mate in the crowd over in the Stoke section, and my biggest worry is Shaqiri, to be honest. I think he's an excellent player. Yeah. They've got Bojan as well. I think those two do play quite well, and also Arnautovic is another threat. But I think we'll be comfortable. I don't think it'll be as easy for them as it was in the reverse fixture back at the Britannia. It was shocking conditions there. I think it kind of played into their hands a little bit more.
Very, very windy that day, as I remember. Yeah.
Yeah, I remember De Bruyne struggling to put the ball at the corner flag, but yeah, no, I think we'll breeze this one.
Well, you mentioned Shaqiri. It might be music to your ears then that he's not on the team sheet, so that's it's good news for us.
Yeah, I'm not happy about that. Apologies. But no, they do still pose a threat. But I think we'll be comfortable with this one.
They can be strong, and we know, as you say, Arnautovic, they've got goals in them as well.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. No, I think we've seen that they've beaten sides like I think Chelsea at home this season. They were a bit easy against Spurs on Tuesday night, but I think we've got this one.
Only 3 games left after this. It's hard to believe, isn't it, after this game today? How big is it then, given that we're fighting for a Champions League spot?
Oh, it's vital. I think it'll be a little bit embarrassing almost if we don't get that Champions League spot, and then with Guardiola coming in, I think the main attraction really is that we have Guardiola, and we also have Champions League football to attract in some more new names. So yeah, I think it's vital that we do get that Champions League spot, and also for the seeding. You know, I don't think we want to find ourselves in that fourth part, and we could be drawn against the likes of, you know, Barcelona or PSG or Bayern Munich. You're right. How you doing?
Manchester, Moonbeam. Thank you, Moonbeam, for that. Yes, so where were we? Of course, we would like to go into Tuesday night, Jack, off the back of a win. Really, that's what we're looking for, isn't it?
Yeah, hopefully we can string some form together in this game, use it as a bit of a stepping stone so we can kick on. I think we'll beat Real Madrid at the Etihad. The return fixture is a bit more worrying, to be honest. I've got my flights and hotel booked, but I haven't got a match ticket. But I'll be there in Madrid regardless.
Oh, brilliant. Thank you very much, Jack. Now it's back to Paul and Chappie in the commentary box.
So welcome back. We've got Andy Morrison with us, and Chappie and Andy are going to have a brief chat as we make our way towards kick-off here at the Etihad.
Just imagine if you were still playing jockey, you'd be playing against Real Madrid on Tuesday.
Marvellous.
How important do you think today's game is, though?
Today's game is, I think everybody's minds are on Madrid at the moment, and maybe losing a bit of the significance of this. Everybody's so relaxed and sort of end of season feeling about the place, where this is massive today. It's so important, as it's just been said, that we get Champions League football next year. This is going to be not easy today, and the worst case scenario for me was them getting beat 4-0 in the week, because I know the nature of footballers and competitors, especially somebody such as Mark Hughes, you know, who's a ferocious competitor. Now he's going to come in into the change room afterwards and probably rip the paint off the walls and said the only way you can make this better is going to City on Saturday and give an account of yourself. And with him being a previous manager as well, every time he comes here, you can see what he's like and how animated he is and how desperate he is to sort of put right what he feels was wrong when he was moved out. You know, so this is going to be very, very tough today.
I'm notoriously tough against Stoke anyway, isn't it? They're always hard opposition, and they've been a bit of a bogey team for us over the few years, but I think if you look at our players, I know there's 1 or 2 people left out, but it's capable of, if they're on the game, it's capable of beating anybody, isn't it?
Yeah, we echo the same things, Chappie, every game. If we're at it, we can be unstoppable. And the last game, which was, was slightly flat until we brought on De Bruyne and Touré, so we do have that option. We have quality on the bench where we could change it on 60 to reignite the whole game. And De Bruyne, the form he's in now, if it's 0-0 or it's a close game, he could change it in the latter stages of the game. But it's just going to make no mistake. And with the shape he's gone as well, I don't really see Iheanacho or Aguero dropping back into midfield. And I think Stoke will invite us on, so maybe that won't affect us too much. But it's about us getting a good start, and there's been games when, the Madrid game, where the intensity that we started the game off and the closing and the pressing, you could see it in every single player. Now, can they redo that today?
Well, if you were playing out there at centre-back, would there be any complacency, or would they all be up for it?
They'd all be up for it. You know that. It would be starting in the changing room, it would then lead into the tunnel, and then you go onto that pitch, and it's just a crescendo of intensity for that whistle. And when that whistle goes, you all go. And there's just been at times this year, in certain games, selective games, where we've lacked that early on. Chappie, I've come to Tottenham Hotspur at home in that first 15 minutes where we allowed them to pass the ball across the back to the keeper, left back, centre half, and I'm thinking, we're at home here now. This shouldn't be happening, And that's got to come from within the changing room, manager, the coaches, to get them ready for every game. So when they start, every team knows it's similar to what Spurs are doing at the moment, what Leicester do with their closing and their pressing. We have to find that. And yeah, we'll have too much quality. The players are far superior.
Well, all that's happened in the dressing room and in the tunnel there with the build-up, and everybody's getting G'd up for this. The attitude's correct, as you said. The attitude's correct, and they're up for this game. And from that first whistle, then we're capable of beating anybody. Let's hope the dressing room's done its trick and they're all ready.
Yeah, there's no reason, like I say, you look at the team and there's enough out there. David Silva looks like he's coming right into form again at the right time of the season. He's had a few injuries and that which have affected him this season. But I've seen some signs in the last few outings that, I think he's back to his very best. And he is the kind of player in these games where they're going to sit in deep and they're going to try and suck it. They did it last year to us. I think they had one break and the lad broke through, didn't he? Yeah, I think it was Juve, was it? And that's all they did the whole game. It'll be no different. That's what he'll be saying to them before the game. You know what we did last year. We go with the same game plan. Okay, we stifle them, we make it up, we slow everything down. And then we try and catch them on the break. And they're also very dangerous from set plays.
That's why it's so important, Andy, to start well. Maybe get an early goal and change what they have to do with the game. They can sit and absorb and look to break on the counter with good players out wide like Arnautovic and pace up front with Juve. It's why it's so crucial to get a good start to the game, isn't it?
Yeah, you can't guarantee goals at any time. You can't say, we're going to get an early goal. You have to do the things that affect that, and scoring goals are a byproduct of doing all them positive things, and then see how many chances we get, how many balls we get into the box, how many knockdowns, how many second balls we pick up, and we just keep recycling the ball to work at them rather than dropping off and playing a little bit too slow and allowing teams to actually feel their way into the game at the Etihad. And I think it's been too easy at times. But we know that if they start right and we're at it, and then we will have too much for them.
Let's hope we start with a bang and get a couple of early goals.
Absolutely.
Anyway.
Last thing then, Andy, how important is today's results looking forward to Tuesday evening with welcoming Real Madrid here to the Etihad?
Means nothing. Means absolutely nothing, today's result. You get this game out of the way. This is a totally different animal on Tuesday night. I mean, I was staggered at the atmosphere before the game, the PSG game. I've never experienced anything like that. The closest I can remember was QPR in the last game when we won the league. To the intensity and the feeling around the place and everybody. Tuesday night, I think will go to another level again. This place is going to come alive.
In European terms, I think Hamburg in the UEFA Cup or the Europa League a few years ago, this place was absolutely bouncing and the atmosphere was intense.
Yeah.
What kind of a difference does it make to have that kind of atmosphere in a big game?
Well, I don't know, it's the chicken and the egg. Do the fans lift the players? Do the players lift? For me, everybody bought into the PSG game. Everybody started. And from the fans to the players to the game, everything fell into place. And it's got to be exactly the same. This will make no odds whatsoever to Tuesday night. There'll be players that will come back in and it'll be a totally different atmosphere.
But a positive result and good performances on the pitch may give the manager something to think about heading into Tuesday.
And that's the message that will be given to the players. But, our star man will be back on Tuesday night in the first team, and that's Ferrandinho. Okay, forget about your rest. Ferrandinho is our star man.
The heartbeat of that midfield. Thanks very much, Andy. It's always great to chat to you. And we've kicked off, Chappie. So let's run through the starting 11s for you then. For City, we have got Joe Hart in goal, obviously a back four consisting of Pablo Zabaleta. Didn't really get a chance to chat about his 300th appearance for Manchester City, an honorary Mancunian now. Fernando in the recesses of the midfield. Sergio Aguero, of course, the main man in sumptuous form of late. Alexander Kolarov down the left-hand side. And City are down the left-hand side at the moment, looking quite dangerous, but just recycling the ball back into the midfield. Jesus Navas and Eliakim Mangala. It's been so good to see Mangala in such good form. Here is Aguero now just inside the 18-yard box. His ball into the middle is cleared away, but that's excellent work from Yaya to get a toe on the ball, although Imbula will bring this away now for Stoke City. And Kelechi Iheanacho. How good is it to see, we spoke about the FA Youth Cup earlier, didn't we? How good is it to see such a young player really staking a claim?
It's always great to see any of the youth team, any of the young kids come through. That's what the academy is all about, to produce plays for Manchester City, and unfortunately he's so far he's been the only one this season, hasn't he, really, who's come in and really established a place in the squad.
There have been a few on the, on the
benches
cusp
and stuff, and hopefully in the future, possibly next season, there could be a few more. But yeah, good to see him get a start as well, alongside Aguero. It could be what could turn out to be quite a formidable partnership. Who knows? Let's hope it is today anyway.
Just to clear up the rest of the starting 11 there, I don't think we mentioned Nicholas Otamendi. He's Andy Morrison-esque in the middle of the defence sometimes.
I love Otamendi. He's awesome, isn't he? What a battler, a fighter,
superb.
brave as a lion.
And
not quite as aggressive as Morrison on and off the field.
But off the field, he's a gentleman. Come on, Choppy.
Yeah, well, on the field, Otamendi's awesome. Yeah, and I fancy omitting to mention Fernandinho before.
Yes, of course.
I mean, for me, he's been, if not the player, one of the top 2-3 players of the season.
Yeah, so important.
He's had a fantastic season and an absolute gentleman of a bloke.
We've just got a break in play here, so we can chat a bit more. It looks like Mame Biranjev, who's
Zaba
down
300.
Yes, fantastic.
Absolutely amazing.
In the programme today, citizens can download their copy of the matchday programme and read what Pablo Zabaleta had to say. He spoke about the atmosphere. He joined the day after the takeover by Sheikh Mansour, and Vincent Kompany came, and then a few days later Robinho, and he spoke about the crazy atmosphere.
I think he flew straight in from winning an Olympic gold with Argentina in the Far East. I can remember him, because he seems to have been here for years and years and years, but he's a Manchester man now. He's a man, definitely. He's what a warrior, but an absolute gentleman off the field.
A brilliant quote from him that I read going back some time now was something like, obviously when he's away in the summer, he enjoys the summer holidays and the sunshine, but there's a small part of him that misses the rain. I thought that was great.
Yeah, he's a great lad.
So we are back underway then, and of course the last player that we haven't mentioned in the starting 11, David Silva, who's back after a couple of games out with an ankle knock. He struggled all season with an ankle problem, hasn't he?
Yeah, he's got a bit of a... But he's the most amazing football brain and
superb. Now here is Zabaleta, at the ball out from the back from Nicholas Otamendi is just a touch too heavy, and skips behind for a goal kick. Interesting to see Arnautovic tracking Pablo Zabaleta all the way back towards his own corner flag there. He is a threat, isn't he?
Oh, yeah.
Xherdan Shaqiri was brilliant in the game in the Potteries earlier this season.
Yeah.
It's good from a City perspective, obviously, that he's not playing, but this Stoke side still, despite an average run of form of late, they've still got quality.
Yeah, and like Jockey said before, he'll have them wound up for this game, having lost in midweek, and they'll definitely be up for this, although on paper they've not got a great deal to play for as far as the league concerned, but he'll definitely want to win this game, Mark Hughes, that's for sure, and he'll have wound his players up no end.
A pundit this morning, I was reading in my preparation for the game, one pundit from Sky Sports said, Stoke are on the beach, they're in their flip-flops, and you can't play football in flip-flops. And I thought, well, when you've got a manager like Mark Hughes and the staff, they certainly won't be in their flip-flops this afternoon.
You can understand the comment, because it happens season after season to so many teams, but I can't imagine Stoke being in that frame of mind at all.
They are on the attack at the moment, Stoke, with a throw-in down by the corner flag in the blazing sunshine here this afternoon in Manchester. It's cleared long downfield defensive header. May well give Jesus Navas the opportunity, but good ball forward to find Arnautovic. Good challenge from Pablo Zabaleta. Got a word on Yaya Touré's boots today, one neon yellow and one a rather fetching pink colour.
Bizarre. What a bizarre pair of boots.
Joe Hart. And
imagine what a member of a local league turning up playing in a pair of those.
He'd get kicked from pillar to post, wouldn't he? But there's magic in those boots of Yaya Touré, Chappie.
I think it's the feet.
So David Silva, it's great to see David Silva. It's always a pleasure to watch David Silva play.
Yeah,
it's a wonderful
absolute pleasure to watch. You're right. He's just a fantastic touch and vision.
It's a good ball down the line for Sergio Aguero. He's working the channels really well early on here. He's broken through a couple of challenges, maybe an opportunity to get a ball in towards the Iheanacho! Just wide off the far post from Kelechi. First time this afternoon that those two
He's just sensational, Aguero, isn't he?
He is.
He's so quick and strong and explosive and so determined. His attitude is phenomenal. He just wants to get in that box, score a goal, set a goal up. He's just an amazing talent. What an attitude.
100 goals, 100 Premier League goals.
Staggering.
For Sergio Aguero scored recently. Where would you rank him in the...
That's 3 times more than I scored in 749 league games.
Is that how many you played?
League games, yeah.
Oh.
He is an amazing player.
And incredible for a player like Kelechi Iheanacho to have Sergio Aguero to, not just on match days, not just for 90 minutes once or twice a week, but every day, to go into work and work with somebody like Sergio Aguero.
Yeah,
it's
not
massive,
just because of his talent, but his disposition, his whole personality and character. He's such an amiable type of lad and all. He'll do nothing but help him.
You can see the fear in the defenders as soon as Sergio, is on their shoulder and he's charging down the goalkeeper.
Oof.
Now Shay Given enjoyed his 40th birthday recently. Did
Again,
Shay Given?
Absolute gentleman. Great keeper. He was one for me. I thought he's the best one-on-ones I've ever seen until Joe's come along. I think he's matching him at least now.
Navas could
he probably influenced Joe a lot when he was here with his one-on-ones as well. So.
Yeah. Well, you can see a similarity in the way that they come out and spread themselves. It's a very similar looking kind of positional sense, and again, great for a young Joe Hart going back a few years now to have Shay Given to learn from.
Yeah.
So interesting start to the game here. City beginning to monopolise possession of the ball. We've got 8 minutes on the clock here at the Etihad. Zabaleta. Otamendi across the back four, it goes to Mangala. It's been quite just 1-2, beautiful 1-2 between Kolarov and Silva. It's Aguero into Iheanacho, goes down under the challenge, but referee not at all interested, Andre Mariner, and there's a late challenge by Jesus Navas on Shay Given, and the referee's whistle does go this time. Any foul there on Kelechi?
Looked a bit dodgy from here. I'd like to see it again.
It was very
this the replay?
Scrappy challenge. Yeah, it was a lovely 1-2 between Kolarov and Silva on the left-hand side, and well, he's gone round him, hooked a leg round him and got to the ball.
I think he's barged him in the back off that replay.
Winning the ball is not enough to mean that it's not a foul these days, according to the laws of the game, Chappie.
Yeah, it all depends on the referee, doesn't it?
Yep.
But we've started really positively. We were talking with Andy before, there's no complacency apparent, so good positive start, and I think what was said in the dressing room has done the trick, and the lads realise the importance of this game.
Otamendi being given something to think about by Mame Birandjouf, but gets it back to Joe Hart, who clears up towards the halfway line. Up goes Jesus Navas for an attempt at winning the header with former City player Whelan. And it's played forward towards Kelechi Iheanacho, but cleared out of play. City throw over on the far side, which Alex Kolarov will take. So with the starting 11 today, Chappie, with the bench that we've got, what changes do you think we may see ahead of Tuesday evening and the visit of Real Madrid?
On today's game,
yeah.
All depends on how the game's going. I mean, if we're in a comfortable position where we're 2, possibly 3 goals up, I can see him resting Aguero, possibly Silva. I think the fullbacks on Tuesday will probably be Sagna and Clichy, so...
Sanya's been another who's been
excellent
outstanding this
season.
season.
And Zabra, of course, has been off for so many weeks and weeks with an injury, so it's not been his best season, but he's a great player, great servant for the club. I don't know, Aguero definitely he'll probably rest if we're in a comfortable position for sure.
Otamendi's clearance is charged down by Diouf and runs behind for a goal kick to Manchester City. 10 minutes on the clock, still scoreless then here at the Etihad, but a bright start to the game from the Blues as we look to further cement position in the top 4 in Champions League football next season. Of course, City might get Champions League qualification.
Of course. Without
by other
finishing in
means.
the top four,
Exactly.
yeah.
Well, let's not go there just yet. Zabaleta and Navas getting in each other's way a little bit there, and a few stern words from Zaba.
Although he does like playing with Navas, Zaba.
Yeah.
He does. They do a lot
Well,
of...
Navas works incredibly hard, doesn't he? They're both
phenomenal work rate, yeah, phenomenal.
It's a throw in then on this near side for Stoke City. Taken by Mark Muniesa.
It'd be
Ball is
interesting.
given away in the midfield. Here's David Silva now, looks for the early ball towards Kelechi, and Nacho couldn't quite gather it.
It'd be
And,
interesting to see who he partners Vincent Kompany on Tuesday alongside him.
How do you choose? I mean,
Left Mangala's had a brilliant month. He's left-sided, so that's always a good balance. Otamendi's more experienced, and perhaps that would just swing it in favour of Otamendi in a game against Real Madrid.
is there maybe an argument to say that Mangala may be the more measured of the two and less likely to jump into a challenge?
Yeah, I suppose it's I mean, there's arguments for both. As I said, he's left-sided. He's played really well in the last month. He's got all the physical attributes you can
Here
imagine.
comes Kelechi now, just forced wide, but has the company of Muniesa. Manages to keep hold of the ball very well indeed. Options from Zabaleta and from Jesus Navas.
Well,
keeps hold of the ball, goes across the 18-yard box and finds Yaya Toure. The whistle goes. Much to the confusion, I think, of everybody around, but the decision has gone the way of Stoke City. Free kick for the visitors just outside their own 18-yard box here.
I think he penalised his boots there.
I have to say I quite like them. I wouldn't wear them.
Aguero's got the same.
Yeah. Just having a look around. There's not a pair of black boots on view, I don't think. Only the referee. Long ball played forward between them. And Mangala and Kolarov able to get the ball away up to David Silva on the left-hand side. Looked as though he was fouled. And the referee does blow his whistle, but the decision has gone the way once again of Stoke City and not Manchester City. David Silva fouled there. Dumped to the ground off the pitch, but
I didn't see it clearly enough. This is a danger. Stoke are dangerous on set plays, so we need to concentrate on each one of these.
much has been said about the change of their style, but they still pose that threat, don't they? Big, strong,
aggressive
set pieces, a real danger.
Yeah.
Volscheider's gone forward. Cameron is in there as well. Shawcross, of course, is a real danger from these kinds of set pieces. Mami Biram Diouf is, well, on his own, beyond the back post. Zabaleta's got a couple to deal with at the back post there, and might be a bit of an issue if the delivery is good. It's an effort on goal in the end. It is tipped over the crossbar by Joe Hart. Will be a corner. Glenn Whelan, former Blue.
Good lad.
Yeah?
Yeah. Never really. He didn't establish himself in the team here. I think he was fairly young when he left, but he's had a fantastic career at Stoke and at international level, of course.
Mm.
He'll be playing in the Euros,
yeah, absolutely.
Good old Glenn.
It will be Glenn Whelan who delivers from this corner. Not quite as good a delivery from the corner, but he'll get another opportunity because Kelechi
It was a bizarre header, wasn't it?
It was, yeah, he's tried to head it away from goal and it's come back for a corner.
Triangle head.
Who's the best header of a ball you've seen at City in recent years?
The best header of a ball, the best leaper was Micah Richards.
It's in towards the near post, and there's an opportunity. Yaya Toure's defensive header. There's another one that sort of squirted off the forehead of Yaya Toure, and the effort on goal in the end is only marginally wide of Joe Hart's right-hand post.
Yeah, best header, best leaper, Micah Richards. Technically best header.
That's a tough one, huh?
Yeah.
Wilfried Boney is a fantastic header of a ball.
Yeah. Vincent Kompany defensively is very good. Aguero's brilliant for his size.
Scoring goals recently with his head.
Brilliant finishing with his head. He won at Newcastle, although his offside was a fantastic header.
What about Antoine Sibierski? It was a good header of a ball, wasn't he?
It was bald, his head. Yeah. Antoine Sibierski, yeah.
So throwing on the halfway line.
He was very, very good in the air. Yeah, technically brilliant. I would say of recent years he's up there.
Definitely. And he had a fantastic Villa in camp.
It's a poor ball across the back four from Zabaleta, looking for Mangala. It's given it away to Diouf. Stoke back in possession of the ball on the halfway line now with Shawcross into the midfield with Cameron out to the near side for Muniesa. Fellow Spaniard Jesus Navas prevents a pass down the line, but Yaya Toure is there tidying up in the recesses of the midfield. Holds off the challenge from Imbula.
Is Delph on the bench?
Yes, he is. Delph is on the bench.
He'll come on.
A little bit nervy at the back maybe here from City early on.
Just the last 2 or 3 minutes, with that set play and a corner or two, they've caused 1 or 2 problems. But
Kolarov swings that left peg with a wonderful diagonal ball out to this near side for Jesus Navas, who is fouled by Muniesa this time. And the foul is given. Free kick, dangerous position. And rather languidly, from left back to right wing comes Alex Kolarov. Well, maybe not. Jesus Navas it is, standing over this dead ball. An out swinger. Fernando is the furthest City player forward, the furthest advanced. Aguero is in there too. Nicolas Otamendi beyond the back post.
He's good in the air. He can spring.
He's almost a bit of a throwback, isn't he? He's a really physical, bit of a brute at the back, but I think every team needs one of them. Anyway, Navas with the delivery from this near side. 2 in the wall, Mame Biram Diouf and Arnautovic. It's clipped in towards the back post. Really good looking ball into the middle. And in the end...
Who headed it?
I think that a defender has gone up for the header, and in the end it's just bounced off. Rather than
unsighted and bounced off his chest, is it?
Yeah, I think so. Yes, Mangala was in there and Fernando was in there as well. Great ball from Navas.
Yes.
Arnautovic gets his head to the ball, jumps in front of Zabaleta, but his flick on is too heavy. Runs through to Joe Hart, who finds Otamendi. Swaps passes with Mangala. Off goes Jesus Navas, and the ball out to this near side is perfectly weighted from Otamendi. Kelechi Iheanacho. It's a half challenge there on the pass inside from Iheanacho, but Fernando tidying up. Fernando, what are your thoughts on Fernando? He's one that splits opinion.
Very good season, another one. Another one, when he's come in, he's done a really good job. Fernando and Fernandinho together are exceptional defensively in that position. That he's done really well,
Aguero holding off the challenge of Bardsley and doing so beautifully. Finds David Silva. Yaya Toure now halfway inside the Stoke City half, high up on the left-hand side. Kolarov back to Yaya Toure once again, threatens to go off on one of those runs. Instead he feeds it inside the fullback, looking for Aguero, but that is good work defensively. And Stoke able to clear the ball away. The referee's assistant is flagging furiously on the far side. And the ball...
A big team, aren't they?
They are big, aren't they? Even from here. It's a free kick. I didn't see quite what that was for, but City back in possession now with David Silva. Jinx one way, then the other. Couldn't quite squeeze the pass through for Alex Kolarov. It's given away though to Kelechi Iheanacho. Finds Aguero, in-stepped Shawcross to clear the ball up towards the halfway line. Mangala with the defensive header, but it's picked up here by Arnautovic. Just inside the City half of the picture. Step over from Arnautovic, but the pass is backwards after the ostentatious trick from Arnautovic. Cameron. And it's a good-looking ball into the middle from Muniesa. Harked towards that back post there of Joe Hart's goal.
He read it all the way, Joe.
He did. And behind it goes for a goal kick. 20 minutes on the clock here at the Etihad. Remains Manchester City 0, Stoke City 0. Only 3 games remaining after this one.
Good heavens.
League games, of course.
Yeah. One more at home.
Yes.
Arsenal, that's it, isn't it?
Yeah, that's right.
Last game, Swansea away. Well, let's hope by then we've accumulated enough points to be comfortably in the top 4 and in the final of the Champions League.
I'm not giving any hints or anything here, Chappie, but that Champions League final is on my birthday, so You know, if you're looking for
You're
a present,
entitled to a free ticket. No.
If you're looking to buy me a present, Chappie. Anyway, Yaya Toure in the midfield. It's Kelechi who seems to be dropping deeper of the two up top of he and Aguero. The ball into the midfield is poor though from Volshite. Gives possession back to City, and Fernando out to the far side with Kolarov it goes. Here's a question for you, Chappie. You had to choose a left foot out of Kolarov and Michael Tarnat. Who do you choose? That's a tough one. Otamendi. Here's ball forward. Might well leave City a bit exposed here because he was halfway inside the Stoke half of the pitch, but Fernando. Excellent header from Fernando to find David Silva. His pass though under pressure and on the stretch. Couldn't find Kelechi Iheanacho, but Kelechi is in here. Can he find a pass? He's still going, surrounded by red and white shirts. Finds Yaya Toure on the D on the edge of the box. Speaking of left feet, there's Alex Kolarov. Takes a big deflection across the face of goal, and that is a corner kick for Manchester City on this near side.
Kolarov, if that would have rifled in the net, would have sold my decision. I would slightly...
Ball is taken quickly. It's David Silva now on the edge of the box. It's Jesus Navas, chance to get a ball across the face of goal. Silva once again couldn't quite get it under control, but it would have been a real opportunity to get an effort away there. Clipped in, beyond the back post. It's a defensive touch from Ryan Shawcross.
Good pressure.
And Otamendi it was, sneaking round the back. He looked favourite there, Otamendi. Good defensive touch from Shawcross.
It was a good touch, yeah.
Corner on the far side. David Silva will take it.
22 minutes. Be nice to get a goal now.
Would settle a few nerves, I think. Yaya lurking on the edge of the box. It's a really good-looking ball towards Mangala. Over him in the end, but Sergio Aguero picking up the pieces. He's got Imbula here on this near side for company. Goes inside for Yaya Toure. Finds a lovely ball for Zabaleta. Tried to play it back to Yaya Toure, but it's good work in the midfield from Stoke. And here's Arnautovic. That's a fine ball out to the far side for Mame Biramdiouf, who loses his footing this time, but manages to retain possession. And then in his haste to try and make up for his mistake, tries to play the early ball. Gives it straight to Joe Hart, who finds Yaya Toure, Kelechi Iheanacho, and now David Silva with a bit of space on that far side. I'm still waiting for an answer on the
Kolarov slightly edges it with power, although Tarnat was very powerful as well.
It was.
And Tarnat slightly edges it with finesse, although Kolarov doesn't like finesse. I think he's slightly more powerful, and Tarnat was slightly more finesse, but two amazing left foots.
Absolutely incredible, aren't they, both of them? It's with Fernando now in the centre circle. Otamendi has got options ahead of him. Tried to feed one in to David Silva, but Jeff Cameron, the US international, was there to slide and clear that ball long downfield. Otamendi across the defence for Mangala. And here is Kolarov, he of that left foot.
Balotelli had the hardest shot I've ever seen.
Yeah, he did, didn't he? But that was a right
bit
foot.
wayward at times, but in training, unbelievable.
You wouldn't want to get in the way of that, would you?
Not with your face.
Not with anything. Zabaleta with the ball down the line. Muniesa, nice touch and clears the ball back from whence it came. Zabaleta tried to step in and win possession back, but it's Arnautovic now with the ball. David Silva read it so well, didn't he? Just stepped in there and won possession back for City. This is Kelechi Iheanacho. Aguero now inside the penalty box. He's got support from Jesus Navas. Goes to ground, but manages to spring up to his feet once again and retain possession of the ball for City. Navas. Zabaleta's got options inside with Fernando. Instead goes back to Otamendi. Everybody in red and white shirts back inside their own defensive third of the pitch as Mangala brings it forward. The City back four, Manchester City back four that is, has crept increasingly forward as this first half has progressed to the 25-minute mark.
They'll be determined to keep a clean sheet, of course, after the last result, conceding 4, was it?
Yeah, it was that Tottenham game midweek for Stoke City. Great ball inside for Aguero by Navas. He's got possession of the ball and he's holding off the challenge very well indeed. Finds Kelechi Iheanacho. Yaya Toure now on the edge of the Stoke City box under pressure from Imbula. Imbula is a real defensive midfield. He's a bit of a midfield general and he's done really well to dispossess Yaya Toure. And there goes Arnautovic, but his ball over the top looking for Joselu. skips all the way through to Joe Hart, and the home supporters, I'm sure you can hear, becoming more animated.
Aguero, it could be Real Madrid, Stoke City, Hartlepool. His natural enthusiasm for the game, it just never lets up, does he? It doesn't matter who he plays against, he always shows that same.
Silva, beautiful touch from Silva, then he goes down under the challenge. Well, it was a lovely touch around the corner from David Silva, who received the ball from Alexander Kolarov on the left wing. Just touched it round the corner, allowed the ball to spin into the path of Sergio Aguero, who played the 1-2. Silva had gone down in the challenge off the ball, and it looked a foul to me, I have to say, but
Is it Shawcross?
Given it was, yeah. How did you guess?
Strong boy.
He is, yeah. Cameron finds Imbula. Manages to skip beyond the reach of Fernando and pass out to the far side, but Stoke City move breaks down, and now can City work something on the counter-attack? David Silva has got Alex Kolarov making strides, barrel-chested down the outside, finds him. Only Aguero in the middle, but being joined by Navas on this near side and Kelechi more central. Inside it goes to Silva. Yaya Toure, his ball in towards Aguero is cleared away by Marc Muniesa. And here goes Imbula once again. But his pass is poor, well read by Otamendi. His pass just wrong-footed Aguero then, who ended up on his posterior, but still managed to get a toe to the ball. That move breaks down and Stoke on the attack once again. Good ball into the channel for Arnautovic. Being stood up by Mangala here. So smart ball across the 18-yard box. Imbula with the dipping volley after it sat up nicely for the Frenchman. But over the top of the crossbar it goes. And we have seen almost half an hour of football here at the Etihad. I knew it couldn't last, Chappie, the sun's gone in.
It's quiet, isn't it?
It is a bit quiet.
We
Nervy, I think.
we need something just to give everybody a lift. A goal would be great.
Two would be better.
Two would be perfect, because they won't get three. No chance.
Up goes Kelechi and wins the header well. Ahead of Volscheid. Back it goes to Shay Given, who clears long downfield. Joselu and Arnautovic and Mame Birundieff pretty fluid in those front three positions for Stoke City. Arnautovic through the middle at the moment with Mame Birundieff on the right-hand side. Cameron.
I think if it remains at 0-0 like the first 10 minutes of the second half, I think
it's a good ball into the box for Arnautovic, and there's a free header in the middle for Joselu.
He will probably revert to just playing possibly Aguero up front and bringing another midfield player on, I would think. Yeah.
Kevin De Bruyne, Kelechi maybe, drop him in behind.
No, he'll probably take him off, and it could be, I don't know, Delph, De Bruyne, something like that.
Long way to go yet before we get to that stage.
Let's hope it doesn't come to that.
Peter Crouch warming up just down in front of us in front of the Stoke City bench. Bad memories of Peter around here, eh? Let's not talk about that one, Chappie.
Warming up in front of us is pretty literal and all. I mean, he's about our level, isn't he?
He's a big boy.
24th row back.
Fernando out to the far side now with Alex Kolarov. Fernando's got a bit of space, finds Yaya Toure, immediately closed down Yaya Toure by Jeff Cameron. Cameron's working really hard in the middle of that midfield for Stoke City here. He's a good player.
They are working hard defensively. They're making it
good shape as well.
Pretty difficult to find a gap.
Zabaleta. Nice turn by Kelechi, and a bit of a breakdown in communication there between Kelechi and Navas. Navas twitched as if he was going to set off down the right-hand side. Kelechi played the ball, but the run never materialised.
I think width is the key, though, if we're going to break them down and find the gaps, find the spaces and get opportunities. And even if it's, apart from Navas and Kolarov going, Aguero coming wide positions and making his darting runs into the box, I think that's where it's going to come from.
Silva, he's floating all over the place, isn't he, David Silva, in this opening half hour or so here at the Etihad. But again, the City move breaks down. This is Imbula. Skips beyond the challenge of David Silva and finds a pass out for Bardsley on the far side. Back in for Imbula. He's a good player, this Gianelli Imbula. Spent a lot of money on him last summer, did Stoke.
I've been quite impressed with one or two of the Stoke individuals. They're just showing some fair amounts of skill, which is unlike probably Stoke teams of the past. You know, individual like as opposed to more workmanlike and working hard for each other in the team.
Oh, the ball's bouncing around in the midfield, and a bit of frustration beginning to build here from the home supporters as Yaya Toure and Jesus Navas left the ball to each other, and in stepped Jeff Cameron to say thank you very much and regain possession for the visitors. Imbula is becoming increasingly influential here, Gianelli Imbula, from deep positions, and he's fouled as he skips beyond the challenge of Fernando in the centre circle. Free kick goes the way of Stoke, and Jeff Cameron. Cameron and Imbula, those two.
That's another reason why they may change it to one up front and bring an extra midfield player so we can dominate that area.
Imbula with the effort from distance here, but it's well wide of target in the end. A few ironic cheers from the home supporters around us here. It's a little bit flat at the moment.
You need a goal.
We spoke, didn't we, before the game about how this fixture is similar to last season's when Stoke came here on a poor run of form. City had been playing well. City bossed possession of the game, and well, we all know what happened after that. And here is the man in question. I mean, Biram Diouf skips beyond the challenge of Kolarov and tries to find a 1-2 there with Hoshelu, and Nicholas Otamendi steps in. He's such a brave player, and he's won the ball back for City, and maybe something on the counter-attack here. Here is Alexander Kolarov crossing the halfway line over on the left-hand side. Has got Sergio Aguero, who's just dropped wide, skips inside the challenge of Shawcross. He's putting the defence all over. Good challenge from Shawcross in the end, but it breaks here for Zabaleta.
Now then.
Navas, he's one-on-one with his man. His man is Mark Muniesa. He's gone across the 18-yard box rather than around the outside, as one may have suspected. City still in possession of the ball, but look at the number of red and white striped shirts back behind it here. Navas. He's managed to get a ball into the middle. Great ball.
That's
and it's really well defended beyond the back post by Bardsley.
He's got the pace to beat a fullback on that side every time.
You know exactly what he's going to do. Stopping him is a completely different question, isn't it, Chappie?
He doesn't do it often enough for me, because you don't need to beat the man to get your crossing. Like, it didn't really beat him there, and he just needs half a yard and shape the ball into a great cross.
Nobody there, and City will have to make do with the corner. David Silva comes short, but this ball is going into the middle. It's another good-looking delivery! Yes! And it's Fernando!
That's a great run and header.
That is a superb delivery into the middle towards the near edge of the 6-yard box. Great run across the blind side of the defender from Fernando, and this angled header nestles inside that far post, and City have the goal that we wanted, Chappie.
Yeah, it's a great ball. He's missed the first man, and then Fernando's run in front of the defender to get to the ball first, and a great glancing header to the far corner.
Excellent.
It's a terrific header.
Yeah, trademark,
exactly what we needed.
Trademark celebration.
Settle everybody down, take a lot of pressure off us.
See Vincent Kompany there sat behind the manager with a celebration as well.
Absolutely, of course. They are a team, they're a squad, they're all together, and they all realise the importance of this and the rest of the games for the rest of the season. It's a good collective effort. That was a great header, great goal, and thank goodness, 1-0.
So 1-0, City lead.
I don't think Stoke will change the pattern of play, formation or anything. They'll just keep plugging away at what they've been doing, hope to get us on a quick break or a set play piece. So if we concentrate when we're attacking or on every set play, I can't see them going to go.
Allowed to bounce there by Volscheid, but unable to really take advantage was Jesus Navas, who did really well to get back on side there. Jesus Navas. And now Aguero, still going Sergio Aguero. Fine challenge from Ryan Shawcross. Always plays well against us, doesn't he?
Yeah.
Wonder why that is.
Beast.
Imbula. He's He does all the legwork in the midfield in Bula. He's a really physically strong player and excellent in the challenge, but there's a bit of quality about him as well.
Yeah.
He's,
good feet.
He's got excellent feet and he's unflustered on the ball even when surrounded by blue shirts. Impressive from him this afternoon. Yaya Toure, lovely touch from Yaya and a pass for David Silva. Off goes Alex Kolarov, of course, steaming down that left-hand side. He's got support from Silva. Lovely 1-2 between those two again, and the ball into the middle is cleared behind by Shawcross, and it's another City corner.
Michael Tarn, that's the youth team. He's the youth team coach at Bayern Munich.
Is he? He's a good player, wasn't he?
Yeah.
Was it against Blackburn that he scored that free kick?
Off. And then every time after that, every time he got the ball in every game, shoot!
From the Asda car park, that was. And it comes towards the near post. Sergio Aguero, very similar to the one that he managed to get his head on against Newcastle. This time couldn't get a telling touch on the ball, but City still in possession. Kolarov once again inside for David Silva. Turns one way, then the other, and slaloming his way through the Stoke City defence. But all of a sudden, Stoke on the counter-attack here. They've got Imbula on the ball, crosses the halfway line. Fernando did well, and so did Yaya Toure, to his credit. They both got back goal side and prevented Imbula, who's still on the ball, by the way. And still from getting a pass forward towards Arnautovic, who's looked lively so far without really doing a great deal. He's been frustrated on a few occasions as Arnautovic, but that is a lovely touch. Not once, not twice, not three times, going back towards his own goal now, but managed to keep hold of possession under pressure from 3 or 4. That's a very poor challenge, surely.
Strong challenge.
By Ryan Shawcross on David Silva. Silva has stayed down, and you can hear the boos around us. You can hear what the City support think of that lack of a decision from Mariner.
He's certainly another one that I've been thinking of taking off too, and not long into the second half. David Silva, keep him. We don't want a recurrence of his injury for Tuesday night.
He's played with a fair amount of pain most of the season, hasn't he, with that ankle injury?
Yeah. But as fresh as he can be for Tuesday is the key. And they've got, of course, De Bruyne, and they've got Delph, capable replacements.
You know, it would be fantastic if players like David Silva could have the summer off, but of course we've got the European Championships coming up, 48 days time. Euro 2016 kicks off, and then for Otamendi and Sergio, of course. Wonderful challenge in the midfield from Fernando. He's playing really well, finds Kelechi. It's half a challenge on Aguero. Aguero turns. Sergio Aguero! Maybe tried to do a bit too much there, Sergio. He should have taken the strike.
It's not like him not to shoot, is it?
He should have gone across. Well, here we are trying to tell Sergio Aguero what he should have done.
Who do we think we are?
Seems a bit ridiculous to me, but sometimes easier to see, you know, from this kind of angle how things are developing than from pitch level. But yeah, I mean, he's the utter fear that he strikes into defenders is incredible to see. But yeah, I thought, you know, unluckily, no rest for anybody this summer, with the European Championships and the Copa America, of course, as well.
Never seems to be a rest for any players these summers, does it? You know, people who play at the top flight, it's either the World Cup, the Euros, or Copa America. There's always something going off.
I think we should be due
they don't be able to go to Mallorca for a couple of weeks anymore, do they?
Ball forward towards Aguero once again from Yaya Toure, but Marc Muniesa read it well. Now here is Joselu. Joselu for Whelan in the midfield. Yaya jumps in towards the challenge, but unable to get there. And here is Glenn Whelan once more. We're inside the final 5 minutes of this first half. Decent first half performance, Chappie.
Yeah, I think he'll change at half time. I think we'll go one up front in the second half. Whether he takes Aguero or Kelechi off, I think we'll go one up front. He'll bring an extra midfield player on just to make it so that they've got no joy at all in that midfield area.
I think it would be nice to see Kelechi maybe get an hour or more at least for his development. He's worked incredibly hard in this first half of play.
It's all about results at this time, though,
Yes,
isn't it? At this
of course,
time
yeah.
of the season. And
Now, Arnautovic.
and-
That's a
oh,
wonderful
great
challenge from
tackle.
Otamendi.
He's class, isn't he?
Wow,
Andy Morrison
what
tackle.
a challenge that was. Andy Morrison sat a couple of seats away from us there. Appreciated that one, didn't he, Chappie?
This
Now,
is
Navas. It's a good ball in towards Kelechi. Iheanacho on the edge of the D.
well
Kelechi.
played.
Yaya Toure!
Shoot, man.
And it's still there for City here. Kelechi. Yaya. Kelechi, down he
Penalty.
goes. That's a penalty.
Yes.
And yes, he's
Yes,
given
he's given it.
That's wonderful from Kelechi.
Great 1-2.
Iheanacho.
Great 1-2
Fantastic
from Yaya.
work. Kelechi played it into Yaya Toure, who looked to try and feed it across the face of the box, despite the fact that only Shay Given stood between Yaya Toure and the goal. It came back towards Kelechi and went to gain the 1-2 with Yaya Toure. Kelechi was...
a bit fortunate. I think we overplayed a little bit too
Yes, we
much.
did.
Yaya could have possibly had a shot just before that, but
Yes.
great 1-2 in the end. And
Speaking of
well done,
fortunate,
Kelechi.
why was there not a card there? That was a clear goal-scoring opportunity for Kelechi Iheanacho. He was goal side, the last man,
Good
8 yards
point.
from goal.
Good
and,
point.
And it was about to pull the trigger. That's a red card for me, but maybe a touch of the end of season about that decision from the referee. Anyway, Sergio Aguero now.
Never misses, does he?
Sergio against Shay Given. Sergio stutters his run
Brilliant.
up and then puts it into the side
Brilliant.
netting. And Sergio Aguero doubles the advantage for Manchester City in the minutes before the half-time break here. Well, that's put a bit of gloss on the first half performance.
That's it now. I think he'll make the changes at half-time.
Yeah. Premier League goal number 101 for Sergio Aguero.
Marvellous.
What a player. What a player.
101.
He's only 27. He could have another 5 or 6 years, you know, at his peak. He's not reached his peak yet, Sergio Aguero.
28 around the
That
peak.
is
I've peaked
frightening.
about 28.
I'm yet to peak in my mid-30s here, Chappie. So 2-0, City lead.
Marvellous.
Sergio Aguero,
Great penalty.
interestingly,
Great
went
penalty.
the other way to where he's been, went to the other side of the goal to where he has been recently. To the one
Side
that,
netting.
Yep.
Can't
But it was
fault him.
Precision, perfect, wasn't it?
Yeah.
We've got minutes and a half of the first half remaining.
Yeah, I think he'll keep the back four, and I just tend to think he will play with one up front. Even if he doesn't do it at half time, it won't, it's only a matter of time before he does, and add an extra person in the midfield, whether it be De Bruyne or Delph possibly. Probably Delph, if the situation remains the same.
It's Shay Given's third game for Stoke City today,
Yeah.
and that's his 12th goal that he's
Yeah.
conceded in that time. Punched away by
Well
Joe
done,
Hart.
Joe.
Really good ball into the middle from Muniesa, and then Imbula just took the sting off the punch, cushioned the ball down for Glenn Whelan to have a shot, but he snatched at it, did Glenn, and over the top of the crossbar it goes. Goal kick then for City. It's so far so good for Manchester City. Goals from Fernando. Interesting, because players like Fernando don't often score goals, but he doesn't score bad ones, does he? Remember that overhead kick he scored here, and that head was a fine run and header for the opening goal today.
Set play, of course. I mean, it's not
yeah.
that often he will get in a position where he's in the box to score a goal. But on set players, of course, yeah, he's in there. But he's had a terrific game. His work rate's phenomenal. And he's had I think he's had an excellent season.
Kelechi Iheanacho once again making things very uncomfortable for this Stoke City defence. Cleared away by Shay Given out towards Mame Biram Diouf on the far side.
Offside.
There's an offside flag.
2 minutes.
2 additional minutes then at the end of this first half. It's exactly what we needed, wasn't it, Chappie, this?
100%.
Exactly.
Yeah, fabulous. Going in
Nothing-
2-0.
Nothing too
Couldn't
taxing.
have wished for anything more. Good,
yeah.
steady, solid performance, very professional. No complacency.
A couple of wobbles maybe with that one spell of pressure that's...
Well, yeah, they've looked at dangerous on a couple of set players, haven't they? But they've never really caused us much danger, and we've looked more than capable of dealing with anything that they've got.
Back it goes to Joe Hart from Otamendi.
Oh, Joe.
Oh, Joe was being charged down there by Joselu, and rather than risk the rebound
And a great
off
ball.
the
Look at
lunging.
that. Play him at centre back.
It was wonderful. Joe Hart just clipped it over the on-rushing Joselu and then pinged a 50-yard ball out to Alex Kolarov on that far side. Aguero's in behind here. And panic again from Marc Muniesa. Aguero's still in possession of the ball here. He's protected it so well.
Brilliant.
And may well take the corner. No, in comes Arnautovic, who did brilliantly, to be fair to him, didn't he, to dispossess him. But it's given away to Kolarov. Kolarov now on that far side. Manages to find Yaya Toure. Lovely first touch from Yaya Toure under pressure from Arnautovic. And Yaya Toure is still going. It's not quite worked for Yaya Toure today.
I think he's done all right.
Yeah. Oh, Otamendi with the... he almost tackled that in from 60 yards.
Tackled the ball, didn't
he? It did set up nicely for Otamendi, to be fair, just 45 yards from goal. But he never really caught it well, and it's dribbled
He
beyond
smiled then.
He did, yeah. Wind, I think. Probably a bit of wind.
Yeah. Or a grimace.
Dribbles behind for a goal kick, and that might be that for the first half here. And indeed, there is the half-time whistle. So far, so good then here this afternoon at the Etihad. Fernando with the opening goal, a fantastic run and header towards the near post that glanced across the face of goal, nestled inside that far corner. And then a penalty after great work from Kelechi. A lovely 1-2 between he and Yaya Toure. Pulled down, should have been a card, at least a yellow. Nothing given. Well, the penalty was given, and then it was dispatched, interestingly, into the opposite side to the one that Sergio Aguero missed recently. But a professional performance with maybe the main course to come on Tuesday evening.
Very much so, very professional. Good attitude, good tempo, no let up. Great result at half-time, 2-0. Whether he changes it now, well, definitely 10 and 15 minutes into the second half.
Give him 15 minutes.
Possibly, he may do it now. Yeah, 10 or 15 minutes could do. I think certainly David Silva will probably be rested. Possibly, I'm certain one of the front two will come off. Might be Aguero just to rest him, but I think he'll bring Kelechi off and put an extra midfield player and then put another midfield player on when he wants to take David Silva off.
I think there's
I'm just guessing, but that's
a lot of City fans probably like to see Aguero given a rest.
Yeah.
And
2-0.
Kelechi given the whole game, maybe.
Possibly, yeah. I mean, it makes sense in the fact that I wouldn't risk Aguero for 90 minutes.
Okay, so more from us in a few minutes, but for now we will send you back down pitch side with Nicola, who's with Andy Morrison.
Yes, thank you. Of course, former Blue Andy Morrison. Andy, took a little bit of patience, but we're exactly where we want to be now going into the break.
Yeah, if ever a goal changed the dynamics of the game, we could sense the fear among, around us in the stand. Fans getting a bit apprehensive and on edge, obviously, because you need that goal. And I think if ever a game showed the importance of set plays, because that game was dead and buried. It was so difficult. We spotted the sort of 11 behind the ball at times from them, and you need some bit of magic, or you need a set play. And a set plays changed the whole course of the game, which has allowed us then to, they switched off, they've gone very flat, and then we've got the second, and if we do things right and everybody works hard second half, this could be 3, 4, 5.
Let's talk about that first goal, which was just here at this corner. A lovely delivery from Navas and a really neat header from Fernando.
Yeah, it was, it's great to see, because Fernando and Otamendi, if Fernando hadn't got to it, Otamendi was right behind him. Yeah. And it was the aggression from their runs. The delivery was into a good area, but the way they attacked the ball was fantastic. And I'm so pleased for Fernando, because, his career seemed to stifle a little bit early on. He never seemed to be able to get a run, but he looks a supreme athlete now, and he does everything simple. And he's got a threat now at, the Bournemouth goal, which got us off to a start, and then again today, and it's fantastic. Special mention for Otamendi as well. I thought he's been absolutely outstanding. On the front foot, everything he's done today has been absolutely top-notch. Yeah.
Absolutely agreed, Andy. Now, the second goal was a penalty. What was your take on it?
Well, he's won the penalty rather than it be a penalty. Iheanacho, once he plays the 1-2, and it's so clever, the timing of the pass. He waits for Shawcross to come to him, then he nicks it and goes. And Shawcross puts his hand across. He was never going to get to the ball, but he's won the penalty. You know, once you put your arm across in the box and the player goes down, the referee has no decision. It's not enough to warrant him falling over, but it's very, very clever in what he's done, and everything he's done has been neat and tidy.
As you say, Andy, Stoke have kept it very, very tight. I mean, their 10 outfield players are often just within yards of each other at times. So those are important. The corners are important, the penalties are important, the free kicks are important in games like these.
Well, I spoke before the game, and these are a wounded animal. Yes. You know, I know how proud Mark Hughes is, and to be beat 4-0 and then come back to an old club of yours, you know, they would have been so up for this game. Yeah. But that last 5 minutes of the game, they look a tired team now. You know, there's nothing in their season. There's no danger whatsoever of going up or maybe a late push. So they look like they're on the beach already now, you know, and I think that second goal really has took the stuffing out of them. And if we can just be really professional in everything we do, and I think as the game goes on, we'll start getting an idea of Tuesday night's game, because I think if Yaya stays on the pitch today, I can't see him playing on Tuesday night. No, because I think that'll tell us tonight what's exactly what will happen on Tuesday. Yeah. Because, you know, even in them latter stages of the first half, you know, Yaya looked tired. You know, and if he does stay on, then I think that's it'll be Ferrandinho and Fernando on Tuesday.
Okay. If you're Pellegrini at the moment, are you making any changes second half?
Not yet, no. If he's going to play Navas on Tuesday night, I think he should come off on probably 65 and maybe put Raheem on. And I just, it would be great because Kevin's in such a vein of form that he wants to get on the pitch. You know, and if we get 15-20 minutes off him, he'll play. I'm just seeing Delph's warming up, so maybe he's coming on for Yaya, but we'll see.
Well, we'll see what happens in this next 45 minutes. But for now, I believe there are some fans waiting to speak up in the press box.
Thanks, Nick. I am here with a couple of City fans, Ari and Howard. What did you make of that first half?
Well, I thought City, very sluggish start, but we grew into the game and great end to the half there with the Aguero penalty. And I think 4-0 for me. We'll grow into the game a bit more.
Really?
We took the sluggish start, but I think once we've got the goals, Stoke are going to try and get those goals and we'll pick them off, I think.
Howard, what did you make of it?
Sorry, yeah, it was a good half actually.
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to second half.
And ahead of Tuesday evening, what changes would you like to see the manager make in this second 45 minutes?
I don't know, with Madrid you've got to just be ready, haven't you, really? Don't know about changes, just love to see how it plays out.
All right, he's enjoying himself on City TV Live this afternoon. Harry, same question for you. What would you like to see? Would you like to see Kelechi stay on, maybe Aguero come off, get a bit of a rest?
For the Madrid game?
Yeah, no, for the second half.
Yeah, I think we've got to rest the players. You know, the game's in the bag at 2-0, you think. And yeah, coming to Madrid for the next game, I think we've got to go out there and try and win that game, if possible. So yeah, we've got to rest the players.
Slightly surreal feeling that Manchester City are in the semi-final of the Champions League against Real Madrid.
For sure, it's a surreal feeling, but you know, why can't we go and win it?
Well, we
Stranger
can.
things have happened. Leicester winning the league this year,
well,
so why not? Let's go win it.
So, Real Madrid.
Yeah.
Tuesday, in 3 days' time. Real Madrid coming here. They've been here before, of course, and we've been over there in that last-minute goal.
I think, you know, if we take the game to them, why can't we win it? You know, we've obviously got to keep the big players quiet, Ronaldo, Bale, etc. But we've got the players. If Silva and Aguero are hitting the harmony they have been, why not? Let's take the game to them, I think.
What changes would you make from the starting 11 today going into Tuesday's match?
I mean, I'd keep a similar team. But, I mean, you'd be looking at a bit more steel in there. So you're playing all the big guys. You know, I'd keep Yaya Toure. I think he's a big guy in there. You know, he's got to break up that play. I'd keep Aguero. I'd maybe take out Iheanacho. I think he's a bit too young. But, yeah, I'd go for the win.
Vincent Kompany surely has to come back in.
If he's fit, yeah, he's got to play. He's got to play.
Fit, and he's been given this afternoon off by the boss, not even on the bench. We want to see a bit of Kevin De Bruyne in the second half.
Yeah, I mean, well, if he's going to be fresh for Tuesday and we win it, then I don't mind if he doesn't play today.
How have you seen his first season here in Manchester?
I think it's been a fantastic one, but one thing I'd say is his injury has been a bit of a unfortunate event, because if he'd been fit all season, you know, we'd be talking about him Player of the Year, I think.
And City would be much closer to the two.
League.
Yeah,
but at least he's here now in the Champions League semi-final, fit and raring to go.
We saw an interview with him pre-game, and he doesn't look phased by anything.
Yeah, you know, he's been there with Chelsea, Wolfsburg. You know, he's been there with the big boys, but I think now he's found that team where he's going to succeed in, hopefully. Yeah.
So predictions then, Howard, if you can stifle the giggles for a second. How do you think this one's going to go in the second half, and then looking forward to Tuesday?
I agree with Harry. I think it's going to be like 3-4-0.
Okay.
Yeah. Tuesday, it's going to be a close one. It's going to be hard to call.
Would you take 0-0 on Tuesday?
Yeah.
Would you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But Real Madrid are a proper team, the real article. So
yeah,
you know.
they are good. There's no poor teams left. So PSG. And over the 2 games, City was superior in every area of the pitch, you know. Brilliant. Defensively, it's interesting that both of you are saying that City will keep a clean sheet today, when 3 or 4 weeks ago, I don't think anyone would have been confident of that.
I know. They've stepped it up, haven't they? And they've had to as well. So
yeah, exactly.
Football.
Mangala, maybe split opinion earlier on in the season, but he's been brilliant the last month or so.
Yeah, he has been. Yeah.
He's been superb.
I had a bit of money on him, first goal scorer, didn't come in.
Yeah.
We should have put it on Fernando. What a goal.
Yeah. I know, yeah.
Fantastic header.
It was a good, great goal, yeah.
It was a great header. So, what changes? I think personally I'd like to see
De
Bruyne get half an hour, purely for selfish reasons. I want to see him play this afternoon. And maybe Fabian Delph for a bit of energy and a bit of seal in the midfield.
See out the game, you know, I think 2-0. Shouldn't be losing this now. So yeah, Delph, De Bruyne had a bit of energy, bit of clinicalness. I think it'll be 3-4-0 if we play the way we did in the first half. Not the sluggish start, but at the end of the half there.
I thought we started quite well, and then they got that free kick from Whelan that was tipped over the bar, and a couple of poor defensive headers. We invited a bit of pressure, and
a bit sloppy.
We looked a little bit wobbly there for a second.
Could be the lunchtime kick-off, you know, just getting into it. But, you know, the last 20 minutes was great, and we've just got to keep that up, I think.
Very often the case, isn't it, with the early kickoffs on a Saturday afternoon, that everyone's a bit flat, the crowd's a bit flat, and the players are a bit flat, but it'll be something completely different on Tuesday evening. This whole place is just going to be electric.
I know, can't wait to be here.
Yeah,
it's going to be great.
Fantastic. All right, so, top 4.
Of the Premier League this season? Yeah, City for me. It's a case of 3rd or 4th, not a case of 4th or 5th, but I think we'll get 4th.
You don't think Arsenal will go all out in these final weeks of the season to secure their 4th place finish as they have done for the last few years?
I thought you were going to say, I was getting nervous, I thought you were going to say secure the title then. No, I mean, Arsenal will finish, for me, 3rd because we've got the Champions League to think about.
Sure.
But yeah, we'll definitely get 4th. I think Arsenal, may scrape 3rd, unfortunately,
3rd, but the difference between 4th and 5th is unthinkable. But the difference between 3rd and 4th is pretty big as well. We don't necessarily want maybe a Shakhtar Donetsk or a Fenerbahce or a team like that in the playoffs for the Champions League come the middle of August when pre-season hasn't quite finished. We want to avoid that really if possible, don't we?
Of course, yeah.
So 3 or 4-0, Howard?
I'm going to go for 4-0. I'm going to agree with Harry. He's
not
really good at this.
And you're going for 4-0 as well, Harry?
I'm going to have to go for 4-0, absolutely.
Well, you can't really argue with that confidence from Harry and Howard. Thanks very much for joining us this afternoon. Enjoy the second half.
We will
Enjoy Tuesday evening as well. Thanks very much. And we'll hand you back to Nicola before the start of this second half.
Yes, well, we are, of course, pitch side here. As you can see, Fabian Delph, he's gone through quite an extensive warm-up during the half-time break. I don't know if Manuel Pellegrini will bring him on in the second half. Maybe he'll wait 5 or 10 minutes, but it does look like we may see Fabian Delph soon. The players are about to come out again of the tunnel very shortly. We are, of course, 2-0 up, courtesy of Fernando and a Sergio Aguero penalty. So we'll see what happens over the course of the next 45 minutes, but here comes Fabian with the fitness coach, and it looks like we may see him soon. But for now, we'll pass you back up to the commentary position.
Okay, so welcome back. Stoke City are back on the pitch, ready to get this second half underway. Our Blues are, well, hopefully momentarily joining them. As we saw from Nicola, maybe Fabian Delph is getting stripped and ready to come on, but one change that we do know about is that Shay Given is unable to continue. We're not sure why that is. We'll try to find out for you. But on will come Jakob Haugaard, the former FC Midtjylland goalkeeper, winner of the Danish Superliga, in fact, with Midtjylland. Midtjylland is...
We've been there.
Here we have, yeah.
FC
Midtjylland,
yeah.
That was a fantastic... We won that on penalties in the end, didn't we?
Can't remember.
Yeah, we did. We won it on penalties, and in the qualifying rounds of the Europa League a few years ago. I think, was that the season that we got in via the Fair Play League? How times have changed around here, Chappie.
Good gracious.
It's
gone of the days of the Europa League. Eh?
Just talking to Howard and Harry there at half-time, and the one thing that, I'm a City fan, as you know, and the one thing that I'm struggling with is how surreal everything is. You know, we spoke in the first half about, you know, we've been to Madrid, we went there and we played well, I thought, and we were beat. We got beat in the end, but that feeling that that was a great experience, but now it's more than that. We mean business this time, and that's a surreal feeling for fans of Manchester City all around the world, I'm sure. Anyway,
the biggest danger now is like expectancy, isn't it?
Well, yeah, exactly.
Taking things for granted. And
so we are back underway, just having a quick scan of the pitch, and
10 minutes I'll give them.
There's no Fabian Delph just yet. In fact, he's warming up down in front of us with Raheem Sterling, so I would imagine Silva or Navas for Sterling?
Silva, definite possibility, yeah. Aguero's another possibility, he may come off. Certainly going to revert to one up front, I would think, pack that midfield. Back four will stay the same.
It's a good ball in towards Aguero, defensive header came from Ryan Shawcross, and then there's a foul over on the far side by Yaya Toure. I think, given the fact that he's had a couple of weeks out, he's played the season with that pain in his ankle, I think, and also because the pace, keep the pace with Navas, add the pace with Sterling on the left-hand side. I think maybe that would be a nice balance.
Yeah, I think Silva's a definite to come off, and if it was me, I think Aguero will be another one, and I'd bring Delph and Sterling on.
Wilf Boney, I know, is another that has divided opinion for the most part between or amongst City supporters. That's a really good-looking ball into the box, and here is Mame Biram Diouf.
Well played.
Mangala did well to get a toe on that ball and get it away from danger, but out only as far as Bardsley, who goes down. Yaya Toure is absolutely furious with that decision because Bardsley went down in stages. So yeah, I mean, Wilf Boney has split opinion. I think that's fair to say. Maybe that's being diplomatic. I don't know, but he has got an excellent record against Stoke City, 3-4.
Well, he had an excellent record against most teams in the last season. He was at Swansea. I think he was the top scorer in the Premier League, wasn't he?
He was, I think, in the calendar year.
In the calendar year.
In that calendar year, so.
To be precise, yeah, I don't think it's a day for Bonny. I think we'll revert to one up front, and it'll probably be, unless he brings Kelechi and Aguero off and puts Bonny up front. But he's certainly going to replace Silva. I think Sterling and Delph are probably definites to come on in the next.
Delph on the left-hand side,
minutes,
and maybe Sterling up front.
Possibly.
Yeah. Anyway, free kick, dangerous looking free kick here for Stoke City. It's thundered at goal. Well, there seemed to be a bit of a mix-up there between Whelan and Bardsley. Bardsley took it in the end, but Whelan almost tackled him as he ran in.
Oh dear, bit of disruption in the camp. Good.
Anyway, goal kick is the upshot.
Yeah, 55-60 minutes, that'll be about change time, I think. As long as it remains the same, of course.
Yeah, just having a look at the replay of that free kick from Bardsley, and it's well wide. Now, Arnautovic, flag stays down. He's in behind here, and it's an excellent ball into the middle. Chance over the bar. Oof.
What a chance.
What a chance that was for Stoke to halve the deficit here with only 3.5 minutes on the clock in this second half of play. He looked offside, didn't he? And then
he did, yeah. It was a bit of slack defending and slack marking for sure. I don't know where Zaba had got to, but I was just outpaced him there and got a run on him. Whether he was offside or not, good shout, I don't know. Well done, son. Good header.
He's done well to get his head on the ball that looked to be going directly out of play, and not only get his head on it, but turn it down the line to ensure that Shawcross had to clear the ball away from the lurking Sergio Aguero. The throw-in taken by Kolarov. Back inside to the City half to Mangala, and now Otamendi closed down by Imbula.
Did you say Aguero then?
I think I might have done, yeah.
Is that correct pronunciation?
Yeah, it is, but
not in Manchester.
It's that. No, exactly. Apologies.
Of course, you spent 12 months in Barcelona.
I did, yes.
So you'll have learned a few different dialects and stuff from Spanish.
That's skipped on through to
Aguero,
yeah. Yaya Toure, Mangala now. Yaya Toure once again. He's got some pretty heavy strapping on that right knee. Has Yaya Toure.
He maybe want to come off then.
Kelechi dropping deeper and deeper. Kelechi looking to get involved and working incredibly hard this afternoon. Yaya splitting the centre-backs and looks to try and feed it in towards the left-hand channel where Aguero had peeled off the shoulder of Bardsley at right back, and Zabaleta managed to find the pass down the line for Sergio Aguero. Kelechi slipped on the turf, but then manages to get his effort away on Haugaard with the tip over the bar. Struck it sweetly, didn't he?
No lacking in confidence there for a young lad. It's a cracking strike as well. Nice.
So it's a corner which David Silva will take on this near side. Oof. It's only his third game in the Premier League, this young goalkeeper from Denmark that replaced Shay Given at half-time.
He's been tangoed.
He's resplendent in neon orange from head to toe. Now it's bounced off Glenn Whelan. It's come back to David Silva, who finds Kelechi Iheanacho on this near side. Great looking shape on that ball in towards the back post, and in the end it's not quite done enough.
Look at him chase back though to this lad on the wide right.
Yeah,
that's
Kelechi
great.
is working his socks off,
good
isn't he?
thinking.
It's fantastic.
Good appreciation of the other players in the team.
Obviously the defenders had gone up for the corner, and Kelechi Iheanacho had done really well to track Mame Biramjif all the way back.
Tackling.
Well, it was a poor challenge, but did enough, I think, momentarily to prevent forward progress for Stoke. They are in a dangerous position, though, just outside the box, and chance to get one into the middle now, but it's gone beyond the back post when the two in the middle, Joselu and Diouf, had gone towards the near post. And between them, Kolarov and Silva, I was about to say, managed to clear the ball away, but in flew Phil Bardsley. On Alex Kolarov to clear that ball away for a throw-in on the near side, just in line with the edge of the penalty area, which Kolarov will take. He had a bit of a look at Bardsley as that challenge came in, took a note of his number on his back, and, well, between them, Yaya.
Big 10 minutes this next 10 minutes.
Yes, it is, yeah. A goal now, and we get back to being nervy once again, I think. Between them, Yaya and Kolarov conspired to give away the throw-in, which is taken by Bardsley, and he finds Diouf. And Alex Kolarov does well to prevent the ball into the middle from Diouf, but couldn't prevent it from running out of play for a throw-in on this near side, which Bardsley will take. Arnautovic with a good bit of movement to find some space, but back towards his own goal he goes and finds Volscheid towards the edge of the penalty area. Imbula.
Quiet.
This is Glenn Whelan now with a chance maybe to put a ball into the middle. Instead it comes wide for Bardsley, who does get a ball in, and Otamendi was there. It's another crucial defensive contribution from Nicolas Otamendi, corner goes the way of the visitors here, and good pressure from them.
Slightly concerning.
Yeah, at the beginning of this.
These 10 minutes now are vital. If we can just settle down now, keep them out now, then I think it'll see us home for the rest of the game. But we can't afford to concede now.
Nobody left forward here for City. The furthest player forward is Aguero, and there is the opportunity. The header from the corner, but it's into the side netting, and the pockets of Stoke City supporters in the south stand away to our right thought that was in.
Set players, eh?
Yes.
They're going to be a threat, aren't they? The team of giants.
I wasn't far away from being the goal that we've been fearful of, really.
Well, hopefully.
Another good delivery from Glenn Whelan. And it was Mame Biram-Diouf who out-jumped Zabaleta at the near post, but couldn't get his effort on target. Kelechi up for the header, but Bardsley beats him to it this time. Throw in for City halfway inside the City half of the pitch, which Kolarov will take. 10 minutes gone in this second half. 2-0 City lead. Goals in the first half from Fernando and Sergio Aguero from the penalty spot. Who's getting stripped off down in front of us?
Delph, is it?
It is Fabian Delph. Just getting a few last-minute instructions from Brian Kidd.
Either of the front two or David Silva or Yaya. It's got to be.
That's half the team.
Four actually. There's 11 in the team.
Choose one.
I'm
going to say Silva.
Kelechi.
Okay. Whelan, halfway inside the City half of the pitch here. They've, well, territorially beginning to dominate here in this second half of play. The ball forward, though, looking for Diouf. Was well read by Kolarov, who was fouled by Mame Biram-Diouf. The referee tried to play an advantage. There was none, so free kick then for City, and on will come Fabian Delph here. Who did I say? Silva?
You said Silva, I said Kelechi.
All right, I think Silva.
Silva will at some point come off, and if it stays 2-0, Aguero will come off at some point for Borneo, I would think.
So that change will be made. And it is
says Silva, you're right.
David Silva who comes off for Fabian Delph here, and of course a standing ovation for David Silva. Has played well today. Good interaction between him and Alexander Kolarov on the left-hand side.
Nothing wrong
created
with that
some
substitution.
problems. Yeah, that's fine.
Great legs, Delph works hard for the team.
And 56 minutes under his belt for David Silva on his return from a couple of weeks out with an injury.
Correct, excellent. He'll solidify it up a bit there, Delph in the middle, and make sure
I really like
they're
Delph.
not dominating the middle.
I really like him.
Great lad too. He's funny.
Well,
Great in the dressing
David
room.
Silva's gone straight down the tunnel as Stoke City went straight through the middle of the City defence there. Arnautovic it was who
well done, Joe.
Was
sloppy pass.
Well, he looked favourite there, did Arnautovic, but Joe Hart smartly off his line to clear the ball out of play. Here is the first involvement for Fabian Delph, and he finds Fernando, who finds Yaya Toure out to that far side now with Jesus Navas. He's one-on-one here against Marc Muniesa, plays it down the line for Sergio Aguero. Back to Navas once again, chance to get a ball into the middle. Charged down and cleared away, but cleared only as far as Zabaleta high on that right-hand side. And now Zabaleta gets a return pass too, takes a deflection, that'll be a corner.
That'll do.
Slightly worrying that Silva has gone straight down the tunnel.
Not at all, no.
Just get some ice on that
just
on
the
that ankle of his
physio, give him a quick check-up, see if he needs any ice, see if he needs any other kind of treatment. Purely precautionary.
So corner, and it's Navas who will deliver. Delph is lurking on the edge of the area. They take it short for Zabaleta this time. Back to Navas now. Real chance to get a ball into the middle. In towards the edge of the box. And Yaya Toure arrived late.
Was it Yaya?
22
Fernando?
Yards. It was Yaya.
Was it?
You can tell by the boots. But in the end, his effort uncharacteristically is a bit of a dribbler. And no problem at all.
Good chance, good chance.
Jakob Haugaard.
That would have just sealed it, wouldn't it?
It would have, yeah. Oh, it's been stolen away here by Arnautovic from Nicolas Otamendi. Dwelt on the ball. Arnautovic, good save, Joe Hart.
Great
and
save.
hooked away from danger by Mangala. That was a wonderful save, isn't it?
He's a great keeper,
He
isn't
is.
he? He's
Fantastic goalkeeper.
He's saved us so many times this season. Champions League and Premier League. He's been outstanding.
Imbula now, just inside the Stoke City half of the pitch. Not maybe as defensively minded as I thought, Stoke today. They've been on the front foot for phases of the game
They've
anyway.
certainly had a go, haven't they? I mean, they have defended in numbers, but they've broken quickly when they had the opportunity. And I think they've got one or two more useful, skillful players with ability who
maybe
can
their
create
best one,
things.
maybe their best one's not available today, Xherdan Shaqiri.
Yeah.
He was superb against us in the Potteries earlier on in the season. Of course, this is Imbula, who has been impressive today.
It's a daunting place to go, Stoke.
Yes, it
not
is.
Just
not just for the football.
The fans.
Yeah, it is a tough place to go.
Very hostile.
Bardsley, diagonal ball in towards the back post, comfortably headed away by Pablo Zabaleta, helped further from danger by, it's a great ball, first time from Kelechi, and then Navas. Aguero is in behind here, he's only got Shawcross to beat. Fabian Delph is making a move towards the back post. Aguero's still going. Well, Aguero may be guilty of holding on to the ball for a touch too long there.
I think they closed him down pretty quickly, though. Two of them, didn't they? He didn't really have much opportunity to get the ball out to Delph or even to do his bit of magic and get a shot in.
I think if we can forgive anybody for holding on to the ball for a touch too long, it's Sergio Aguero. Anyway, here comes City once again. Navas has got space aplenty on that far side. Round the outside he goes. Can he get a ball into the middle? He can! Oh, Kelechi.
Unlucky.
Wonderful piece of invention from Kelechi Iheanacho.
Lucky.
The ball was behind him and he turned and... Well,
I think we've seen the best of Stoke now, that first 15 minutes, I think.
And now we're gone.
We've quelled that bit of pressure, and I think Delph coming on has certainly solidified it more in midfield and stopped them being as creative as
he almost does the work of two players, doesn't he?
Yeah,
he does the work on
great legs,
wide on the left and in the middle as well. He's
fills in everywhere, doesn't he?
Fantastic player. Another who's had his problems with injury.
Yes, unfortunate, very unfortunate with injury. I watched him quite a lot in the Newcastle game, actually, and the times that he was running past other midfield players forward and getting back to work hard for the team. His work rate's phenomenal.
I mean, he's probably when he signed, maybe we've been a little bit spoilt over the last few years since the takeover, but maybe a solid if unspectacular signing last summer, but I think he's done very well indeed, and great challenge there from Zabaleta, wonderful tackle.
Big hitter at Villa, of course, and like Bonner, big hitter at Swansea, but when they come into a club and a squad with so much talent and ability, you're not an automatic choice. Things slightly change, you know, so he's probably had to work that little bit harder than he possibly did at Aston Villa, but he's certainly very willing and a great asset in the dressing room.
And he's not just a runner, he's quality.
Oh yeah, he's got
quality
ability
as well.
He's an all-round general, great lad, great player, great lad.
Glenn Whelan with the ball out to the far side. As the sun makes a reappearance here at the Etihad this afternoon. It's glorious in the sunshine, isn't it, Chappie? But it's
well, we'll
cold up here. Zabaleta then with the ball to Jesus Navas. Aguero makes the run down that far side, but Navas turns back inside once again. Imbula with a nibble at his heels there. Advantage played by the man in the middle. Out it comes to Kolarov on the halfway line on this near side to Delph.
Guess your next sub, because there's going to be one soon.
Boni for Aguero.
I would think so.
Right. Well, I'll say Kelechi then.
I'll say Aguero then.
Okay. Navas. Oh, Zabaleta's running behind now, and if he can get a ball into the middle, Kelechi is there.
Yes.
Kelechi!
Brilliant.
It's free! Kelechi gets his goal!
Brilliant. Great run from Zabaleta.
Navas and Zabaleta
Brilliant.
with fantastic interchange on that City right-hand side when Zabaleta was in behind goal side, completely exposed on the overload on the City right, and the ball rolled into the middle. There was Kelechi Iheanacho, 6, 7, 8 yards from goal. and rolled it beyond Haugaard. Net bulged. Kelechi gets his goal.
Aguero.
And it is Sergio Aguero who will be given a rest here. And Wilfried Bony will come on. Manchester City 3, Stoke City 0.
Game over, innit?
And
Ari
and Howard, who was sat here at half-time, both said 4-0.
Could well be. Could well be. I can't see them scoring anyway, so...
No. Which is interesting, really, because much has been said this season about City's porous defence when Vincent Kompany's not there.
He'll certainly not change any of the back four in this game.
No.
Definitely.
No. There's a lot of love around the Etihad Stadium for Sergio Aguero as he gets the final 25 minutes of the afternoon off, and on comes Wilfried Bony. Got a good record against Stoke City, has Wilfried Bony.
Who else is on our bench?
We have got Sterling, De Bruyne, Clichy, Demichelis. I would say
Sterling's the only possibility who'll come on.
Oh, he's come back from an injury, isn't he? He could do with 20 minutes or so.
Possibly for Kelechi or Navas. I think the rest will stay the same.
So Zabaleta marks his 300th game for Manchester City with a fantastic assist. Brilliant, absolutely
run.
brilliant.
Brilliant run.
Well, we spoke in the first half, didn't we, about how good down the left-hand side Silva and Kolarov were. Lovely interchange of pass, and we saw it mirrored on the right-hand side there between Zabaleta and Navas. And
Zaba and Navas have got a pretty good history of great interplay between them. So I think Zaba really likes playing behind Navas. They seem to work well together. And latterly, Sanya has had a great season.
Again, here comes Yaya Toure now bursting through.
Oof.
Down he goes under the challenge. Goal kick. Frustrating afternoon for Yaya Toure. He's not happy with the decision, is he? Let's have another look here. Arnautovic, it was initially that...
that's a foul. He's obstructed him, hasn't he, surely?
It's one of those,
Put his arms in his chest.
If it happens in the midfield, the referee blows his whistle 100% of the time.
He's not going to give a penalty for it, is he?
Not.
But you can understand Yaya's frustration. I think he was impeded. Well up,
Kolarov. It's an excellent header to out-jump Mame Biramdiouf, and Volscheid brings it out of defence, but in doing so gave it to Jesus Navas. Good pressure there from Wilfried Bony, and a poor header in the midfield from Fernando. Gives possession back to Stoke City with Imbula, and again he manages to wriggle beyond a couple of challenges. Imbula, his effort though sailing over the crossbar. Midway points of this second half, and well, it's comfortable now. It hasn't always been so comfortable this afternoon, probably. Scoreline, fair
First 5
reflection.
minutes, 10 minutes of the game, a bit uncomfortable, then the first 5-10 minutes of the second half. But apart from that, we've never looked in any real danger. And now we've got the third goal. I think it's curtains.
Quite a tough run in the Premier League, isn't it, Chappie? After today, we've got to go down to the south coast to Southampton.
Yeah,
that's a tough game.
Yeah,
and then of course Arsenal come here.
Yes,
and finish off the Premier League season.
Swansea away.
Swansea away, which is well, they've got their 40 points now, haven't they, Swansea? But that's not an easy place to go, really. Now, Navas.
And last game of the season, they'll want to leave the fans happy, won't they?
Yeah,
so
of course,
it won't be easy, but. Hopefully we'll at least be in a comfortably top 4 position then. So
well, we were talking with the lads there at half-time with Ari and Howard, but about you know, the difference between 5th and 4th is unthinkable, but the difference between 4th and 3rd is huge. We don't particularly want
the qualifiers, of course.
We don't want a big team here, and you know, to have to go somewhere like
let's
Donetsk
finish at least 3rd.
Yeah,
we don't want to be 4th. The big one, of course, as far as that is concerned, is the home game against Arsenal.
Yeah, win that, and I think we can take 3rd pretty comfortably in the end.
Yeah,
but we don't want to be going to Istanbul or Donetsk or
no,
or any of those places.
FC Midtjylland.
Yeah, well.
Leicester have to play Tottenham yet.
Yes, they do, yeah.
What a fixture that is.
Oof.
It's been a great season. A great Premier League this season, hasn't it? Very interesting, very different.
Indeed.
Very different.
Yes, it has, yeah. I think it's fair to say tinged with a bit of disappointment from
as far
a
as we're
City
concerned,
perspective.
yeah,
But,
I think we've been so unlucky with injuries to key players.
Yeah.
I think that's been a major factor. You know, De Bruyne, Silva, Vincent Kompany.
if you look at the number of times that that Kompany, Yaya, Silva and Aguero played together in the same team, it's a handful, you know.
Yeah.
And that's not really sustainable if you want to mount a title challenge. But, here comes City once again. Kelechi did well to find a pass into the feet of Wilfried Bony under pressure from three. Manages to retain possession well and find Yaya Toure, fellow Ivorian, in the midfield. Fernando. Yaya, good challenge from Yaya Toure, but the ball squirts out between that challenge between he and Glenn Whelan, but City able to retain possession in towards Kelechi. Iheanacho here. It looked a heavy touch, but it had to be to protect possession of the ball from the defender.
He saw the space to knock it into where he was comfortable with.
Oh, and Delph with
tough ball in.
Pirouette turn, but couldn't take the ball quite with him. And now Wilfried Bony will close down Haugaard. He manages to get his clearance away out to this near side for Joselu. That is a heavy touch and gives possession back to Alex Kolarov. Delph, Kolarov, that's a lovely touch from Delph, and he's dumped on the ground by Bardsley, who somehow has managed to avoid a yellow card this afternoon. And he could have had a couple. Bony, Zabaleta, and now space aplenty again on that far side for Navas, and off goes Zabaleta to give him the option on the overlap, and Zabaleta uses him as a decoy, gets his ball into the middle, deflected behind for a corner. Well, we looked most dangerous in the first half down the left, and on the right, in this second half of play.
We've dominated this half more than probably the first half. We looked so
first
comfortable now. Sterling for who, do you think?
It's Demichelis that's coming on.
Is it now?
Yeah. Maybe a chance for
I thought he might
City.
give Sterling a few minutes, you know.
Well, just wait for this corner to come in, and in comes the header from Sergio Aguero, and is cleared away. Arnautovic can work this ball.
Now this will give you a clue as to who he plays alongside Kompany on Tuesday night.
I think it will be Otamendi who will be given a rest here.
And I think it'll be Otamendi and Vincent on Tuesday.
Now, this substitution, Chappie, is this an opportunity for the fans at the Etihad here this afternoon to say goodbye and thank you to Martin Demichelis? He'll move on in the summer. We know that already. His contract is up. And it's unlikely against Arsenal, such a big game, our last home game of the season, that he won't get a game there. So an opportunity maybe...
Well, he may come on as substitute if the result is okay, and that will give us an
extra... we can't guarantee that.
No, absolutely.
Anyway, both wrong. It's Fernando. Fernando, who has
just
been replaced
slotting in front then, is Demichelis. Just tightening it up even more. Saving Fernando possibly for Tuesday night then.
For a while there, he was our best defender, wasn't he, Demichelis, for a pretty extended period of time, I thought.
Yeah, very good player.
And then
very good player.
Other players came back from injury, and he didn't really get much of an opportunity to play very often. And when you're nearing the end of your career, I think you need that consistency of games, don't you?
I think the problem with him is in the latter stages now, he hasn't played that many games, and when he's had to play because of injuries and stuff, and he's been put in there, he's just, unfortunately, he's like the Rashford goal, he was exposed a little
Kolarov, he's in behind here, and Bardsley with a good challenge.
And in one or two other games, he's just been slightly exposed, but he's a terrific player, very experienced. Great lad to have in your side. Highly respected in the dressing room.
Kolarov then will take this corner. We've got about 17 minutes left to play here at the Etihad. It remains Manchester City 3, Stoke City 0. So Kolarov then delivers. It's a really good looking ball once again. It'll come back out to Kolarov.
Well played.
managed to get his toe to the ball before Muniesa could get there. Delph back to Otamendi, and Otamendi gives Joe Hart a touch of the ball. Joe's not had a great deal to do in the final, or in the last 25.
Nothing after the first 20 minutes, has it?
Yeah. Good noise from the south stand here.
Ball, great ball.
Oh, Kelechi! There's a real chance for a second for Kelechi!
Brilliant.
And he's got it! Kelechi!
Great ball from Bony.
Iheanacho makes it 4-0 to City, and he gets his second of the game. Somebody before the game said that he fancied 4-0.
Half-time.
No. There was a lad that was speaking to Nicola at the by the side of the pitch before the game, and he said 4-0, and he said Kelechi to get a couple. Yeah, wow.
Did he?
Yeah.
It was a great run, but a great ball from Bony.
I think he'd had a couple of drinks, but still, it's a good prediction.
Watch this ball from Bony.
Yeah, it was a great ball.
Class.
Wonderful ball.
Great run from Kelechi.
The first touch from Kelechi.
Good skill.
I think maybe gave the goalkeeper a hope of getting there, and the second touch just put it round Haugaard and rolled it into the empty net. Makes it look easy, this young man.
Yeah, terrific.
He really, really does. And that is...
terrific goal.
4-0 to Manchester City.
Gaffer's smiling.
I'm smiling as well, because when we were here a year ago, or this fixture last season, it wasn't a happy day. So that's a change. Arnautovic has been given a rest. Frustration, I think, getting the better of him, and on has come Charlie Adam. Speaking of left feet,
Charlie can play. Great ability, great passer. What's happened to Stephen Ireland? Is he not on the bench?
No, he's not. We've got a bit of an injury list of Stoke City at the moment. Oof. That was
Kolarov having a go.
Ugly challenge. Well, a few words being exchanged between Imbula and Kolarov. The referee now is going to have a word with Gianelli Imbula.
There's only one winner there.
The ref is having a word with Alex Kolarov as well, I think, for the reaction from Kolarov.
15 minutes to go, 4-0 up. How comfortable is it? Sun shining.
Yes, speaking
Points
of surreal.
No injuries.
Touch wood. Touch wood, chappie.
And Nicola's brought me some Smarties. What are they? M&M's. Skittles. I'll get something right in a minute.
So anyway, the upshot of that is free kick for City, 2-3 yards inside the Stoke half of the pitch, hugging this near touchline.
Yeah, he has done well today. I think he's worked harder than he has done recently.
He has, yeah, he has.
He's contributed a lot more.
He's been up against Imbula, and Imbula, I think, has been easily the pick of their players, and one of the best players on the pitch, I think. He's been fantastic today, Gianelli Imbula, at the risk of praising the opposition.
Yeah, be careful.
I think it's fair. It's fair.
Because we're 4-0 up, don't show him any sympathy.
Exactly. If we were 1-0 down, he'd have had a worse game.
Yeah. Hopeless play.
So throw in on this near side then, and Alex Kolarov will take it for City. Bit of movement down the line from Wilfried Bony. Phil Bardsley all over him. And Bardsley somehow, again, surely he has to have his name taken at some point, doesn't he?
Well, he's got 13 minutes.
It was an awful challenge on David Silva in the first half, on the far side, and a couple. There was one on Kolarov down here that he won the ball, but these days winning the ball isn't enough. You know, if you're out of control in your challenge, which he was, 2 feet off the ground, that's a bookable offence, and maybe even more than that. I'm not saying it deserved one, but accumulatively, I think there should have been a booking for Bardsley this afternoon.
He's been fairly lenient, the ref, hasn't he? He's not... I mean, I don't mind. There's nothing wrong with a bit of physical contact. And good grief, you've got to be able to tackle, surely.
Of course, but there's you know, that line.
Yeah.
If there's a chance you might injure the opposition, then referee needs to get it in hand, otherwise
Yeah.
he thinks he has free rein to do what he wants all afternoon.
When I played, you could sever somebody's head before you got booked. And sending offs were an incredible rarity.
Here is Bardsley. That's his ball in towards Joselu, or rather in towards Cameron, who's pretty far advanced here. Imbula, good ball for Charlie Adam. Good challenge, Yaya Toure, but
please,
the
that's a
whistle
great
is gone.
tackle. Surely that's a good tackle. He's frustrated again, yeah. I think that's a good tackle. Or perhaps he's come from the side and clipped him.
Well,
it didn't look too bad at the time, but I suppose he has come in from behind. He made it a meal of it, the lad, didn't he?
Charlie Adam making a meal of it. And surprisingly, Charlie Adam has not stood over this dead ball. Glenn Whelan is, along with Imbula. It will be Imbula to strike this one, left-footed, 30 yards from goal, and it dipped viciously right at the end there.
Joe had it covered.
He did, and I think he just pulled his hand away right at the last there, Joe Hart, to allow that ball to sail over the crossbar. That will be a goal kick. So, approaching the final 10 minutes of the penultimate home game of this Premier League season at the Etihad. Where has the time gone? Chappie, it's flown, hasn't it? Every season is like that.
It's always the same. After Christmas, it just seems to fly.
It's a throw in for City on this near side. Delph will take the ball and then hand it off to Alexander Kolarov. 5 or 6 yards inside the Stoke half of the pitch. Back it goes to Mangala. Otamendi and Zabaleta in the sunshine over on the far side. Swaps passes with Jesus Navas. Back to Otamendi once again, going through the motions here. Although I'm sure one player who will be keen to keep up this excellent work from City will be Kelechi Iheanacho. Won a hat-trick, of course.
I don't think Yaya will start on Tuesday. Do you?
Well, they had players over there, did Stoke City, with that ball into the middle from Charlie Adam is straight into the hands of Joe Hart. I'll be honest, I'm not sure. I don't really know what he's going to do.
Silva, De Bruyne, and who else is there to come back?
Sterling, Navas, Fernandinho. Fernandinho has to play,
So you've got
doesn't he?
De Bruyne, Fernandinho and Silva. I don't think he'll be playing on Tuesday,
Well, what a player to have in reserve.
What a bench.
Yes, indeed. Kelechi on a hat-trick, of course, but not the first time he's got one of those, is it, Kelechi Iheanacho?
It's time, yeah.
Still 8 minutes remaining here at the Etihad Stadium. Hat-trick in the FA Cup earlier in the season, of course, for Kelechi Iheanacho. What a fantastic achievement it would be, not only for 2 in the season, but for his first Premier League hat-trick this time. But at the moment, City are on the defensive because Stoke have a corner.
I think they've got the flip-flops on now.
Over comes Glenn Whelan. Yeah, maybe he was right.
Yeah.
Maybe he was right after all. Glenn Whelan will deliver. And Shawcross and Rolshide up from the back. Charlie Adam lurking on the edge of the area. Again, City leave nobody forward. You would have thought that maybe
Clean
Navas...
sheet. Goal difference could be the key.
Yeah, fair enough. Mangala got up and won the header. Back in by Charlie Adam and away by Fabian Delph, but only as far as Bardsley, halfway inside the City half of the pitch here. Good looking ball into the middle.
Just enough.
Flag's gone out.
Offside.
Yep, flag's gone out for an offside. The
just got enough on it after Mendy there, just to take it away from the defender.
Well, the flag has gone up and 20 seconds later it's been rolled into the back of the net to a few cheers from the Stoke City supporters who knew very well that it wouldn't count. short cross it was.
I think quite a few of the City fans are making their way home now.
They're off to enjoy the
We've
sunshine.
got 3 points and
Off to enjoy the sunshine, Chappie.
preparing
Why not?
themselves for Tuesday night now.
What an occasion that's going to be. Oh,
Real Madrid.
Well, Yaya's down here, holding a thigh. City, of course, have used all 3 substitutes.
Have they?
Yep, Delph, Wilfried Bony.
And Fernando has gone off for...
Who was the,
Who
who was the
other one?
third change? There's a chance to then look at some
Aguero,
statistics here. Yeah,
Silva,
Phil Aguero, yep.
Fernando.
56% possession for City up to the 84th minute. Well, sometimes stats tell the story and sometimes they don't, because apparently Stoke have had more attempts on goal than Manchester City, although only 2 of their 12 have been on target. And 6 of City's have, of course, and 4 of those have gone in. So, yeah, I mean, if you looked at the statistics in the match report tomorrow morning, you might think it was a close game, but not really the case, has it, Chappie? Not a booking in sight this afternoon.
Not one booking?
Not one booking.
You maintain that one for the penalty, don't you? Should have been a red card.
Well, I mean...
by the letter of the law.
I think it should have been a red card, yeah. The defender got turned, completely turned. Kelechi was goal side.
Yaya's going off, I think. Down to 10, possibly.
He's holding that right thigh. We did say earlier, didn't we, about that strapping on his right knee for Yaya Toure.
Yeah, he's coming off.
I don't think he'll play on Tuesday, do you? Well, he seems to be all right, actually.
Yeah, I look quite capable of 5 minutes to go with 10 men anyway. I can't see... Demic will probably just step up a yard or 2 more just to fill in that gap. And
That's a really good touch from Wilfried Bony to control the ball and find Pablo Zabaleta as well. And
well played.
Bony's got the return pass, and
Unlucky.
he managed to get beyond one challenge, but not the second. And Stoke City back in possession of the ball with Glenn Whelan. Finds Bardsley on this near side, but relentlessly pursued by Kelechi Iheanacho. He's been absolutely superb. 2 goals, and those 2 goals are just reward, I think, for
Yeah,
incredible work rate for him from Kelechi today. Superb.
Great attitude to have for a young lad.
Well, when you know, a young lad and you need to break into a
That's what you
to
got
a
to do,
team
yeah.
like Manchester City, having the quality isn't enough. You need to work your socks off. And
full marks to him for having the realisation that that's
Exactly.
what you've got to do to get in this side, not just on ability. It's
he certainly doesn't seem fazed by it at all,
no,
does he?
Very confident lad. Confident in his own ability too, which is a good thing.
Yaya has been fouled in the centre circle.
3.5 weeks it took him to go down then.
And he's gone down holding that right thigh once again.
Yeah, he's just better sit him out on the wing or something just for the last 5 minutes, just so he's no real involvement in the game. He's only going to make it worse.
Zabaleta.
Oh,
That's a
great
lovely ball over the top, down the right-hand side for Jesus Navas. And well defended.
He's worked hard,
Yeah,
Navas.
and,
Can never fault his work rate.
Whelan almost had his pocket pinched by Jesus Navas then. And that's a fine ball down the right-hand side from Cameron to release Mame Biram Diouf. Mangala comes over though, and Mame Biram Diouf has to go back towards his own goal, but finds a pass across the midfield for Imbula. And still going. Gianelli Imbula. It's a smart ball across the 18-yard box, but Cameron couldn't get it under control. And here comes City once again. With Yaya Toure,
Struggling,
it was
yeah.
a lazy, injured pass out wide, wasn't it?
It
With
was certainly an injured pass. He's
with his
struggling with
wrong
that right thigh, I think it is it?
It is, yeah.
They should just shove him out on the left wing here just for the last 3 minutes. Keep him out of that middle bit so he's not getting any possession at all. Or take him off.
Oh, there's a chance here, and it's Mame Biram Diouf. Ah, that's fantastic
Well
from
done,
Mangala.
Mangala.
He was on the wrong side of the attacker then, but
Well played.
took a gamble on that ball breaking where it did. And in the end, he's done fantastically well, Mangala. And another good performance from him in the sky blue.
Excellent, excellent. Yeah, silenced a lot of critics. It's just a matter of experience with him. More games, the better he'll be, because he's got every physical attribute you could possibly think of. He's
course,
a giant, he's strong, he's quick, he's left-sided.
He's so quick. He is so quick.
He's good in the air.
Yeah, he's got the lot.
Nothing fancy about his feet,
And
but
he's
if
only-
he just concentrates on defending and passing the ball easy to people who are capable of doing wizardry things, then he could turn out to be a fantastic player.
And you know, let's not forget that he's still incredibly young
Yeah.
for a centre back.
Absolutely.
25. I mean, 25 anywhere else on the pitch, and you know, you should think that they should be established. But 25, the centre back still has so much to learn, and he's come
Confidence
on
and experience
leaps
is
and bounds,
only
isn't he?
going to. It could turn out really good.
Bakary Sagna
He's got a
there
kilt on.
in the tunnel. He has got a kilt on, hasn't he? I know. I think it's a shirt tied around his waist. Another who's been excellent this season, Bakary Sagna.
Yeah,
and
he's had a great season.
one who's
Great
had
lad as well.
had the afternoon off.
Makes the best apple crumble you could possibly imagine.
Really?
Yeah.
Does he really?
He does.
Oh, I didn't know that.
It's a fact. You don't watch the website then?
I do.
You missed that one,
I did miss it. So we're into injury time then at the end of the 90 minutes here.
yeah.
There you go.
Had to be, yeah.
Kelechi Iheanacho has just been announced as the man of the match, and
Well done, Del.
it would take a brave man to argue with that. 2 goals, and those goals were almost incidental to the performance from
Yeah,
Kelechi
he's
today,
worked
because he's
so hard
worked
for the
so
team. hasn't he?
hard.
How many times did he come back in defence and
Yeah.
helped out? And
He was tracking Arnautovic in that first half.
yeah,
and
terrific.
superb. What a
Terrific.
prospect. We bemoaned maybe at the beginning of the game that not many come through.
Yeah.
Only Kelechi really has found himself
All
in the
they need is a
starting 11.
chance, and by chance I mean more than one game.
Well, of course I agree, but also when they get that chance, they need to take it like he has.
Yeah.
They need to. It's all very well having great skill and great ability, but if you don't work for the
True.
team like Kelechi
True.
has today, you won't get a second chance.
And with the rest of the players in the squad, senior players in the squad who are in the starting lineup every week, it's even more and more difficult
Yeah,
for a youngster
exactly.
to break through. So
Yeah.
that's even more vital. You take your chance, grab it,
Exactly.
work your socks off, work
But,
for the team. And
Let's hope maybe with the last kick of the game they can get his hat-trick here, Kelechi Iheanacho, because that would really cap a superb performance from the youngster. Demichelis.
Well played.
As well to squeeze a ball out to Zabaleta on the far side. Manages to keep it in play well, does Zabaleta.
Well
Excellent
done, Zab.
performance from him today.
Yeah.
On the occasion of his
Usual
300th
consistent self.
300th appearance
300.
in Sky Blue.
With an assist.
Yes, indeed. Boney does well.
Well
Holds
done.
off the
Well
challenge.
played.
He's strong as an ox, isn't he, Wilfried Boney? And
yeah,
that's a
yeah,
lovely
just
ball.
nonchalantly left-footed that ball.
Now, Navas, it's in
Oh.
towards Iheanacho. I thought it was about to come to pass then, Chappie.
What a shame, his final ball again. Still another chance here.
Oh, Kelechi has found Yaya.
Ooh.
Couldn't quite squeeze the return
Yeah.
pass into
Yeah.
Kelechi
Yeah.
Iheanacho. You could get him a chair and he'd still pull
Oh.
off 3 or 4
Yeah.
great crossfield passes, wouldn't he, Yaya Toure?
Why has he not got one at the minute? Oh no, he's stood up. Yeah, he's a unique player for sure.
He is. He is.
Good Stoke, I think they're playing for a draw.
Kelechi has come out to the left-hand side for this, I suppose, last 20 minutes, 25 minutes or so.
Dear me.
He's penalised there for a foul on Bardsley. It's normally been the other way around this afternoon, hasn't it?
That's a rarity.
Well, you know, I mean, if you can get away with it, then it's not his fault. It's the referee's fault.
I mean, he's that type of player. He's
Yeah,
an aggressive
he
player.
is.
He's like the lad up at Sunderland. What's he called? The midfield player. He's the same.
Oh, Catamol, yeah.
Catamol. They're an aggressive type of player.
But we've lauded Otamendi this afternoon for being that kind of player, and when he plays for your team, it's something that you enjoy watching. So I'm sure that
it seems to be more acceptable at centre back though,
yes,
than any other
that is
position.
true. That is true. And there is the
Brilliant.
final whistle. It's been
Brilliant.
quite the afternoon in the Premier League here at the Etihad Stadium. A couple of goals for Kelechi Iheanacho. Not quite the hat-trick to mirror that performance in the FA Cup in January earlier in the season. The first came on 35 minutes. Header from Fernando. A great run from Fernando across towards the near post and guided his header inside that back post into the side netting. And then Kelechi, well, he scored two, and I think he'll get the assist for Sergio Aguero's penalty, because it was Kelechi who played a 1-2 with Yaya Toure, found himself through on goal, then hauled to the ground. Well, the referee thought about it, and then he realised that he had to give it, because it was a definite penalty. Up stepped Sergio and put it the opposite side to the one recently that he put past the post. And then in the second half, Kelechi Iheanacho, after a wonderful performance from the young man, with 2 goals in the space of 10 minutes, both, I suppose, tap-ins, or both relatively easy goals, but all of the work comes before to get yourself into the position to be able to do that.
A lot of composure and ability to finish them, even though they look simple. For some people, they aren't simple, but he did make it look simple.
Exactly.
He's got a lot of ability, he's got a lot of confidence in his own ability, and he works incredibly hard for the team.
He's threatening to be the all-round striker, I think, that
hopefully he
City
can come through
can do with. Yeah. He has been excellent today. It was a very, very good professional performance, and now, since that whistle, attention can turn to Tuesday evening and the small matter of Real Madrid making their way to Manchester. Let's hope it's freezing cold like this for them on Tuesday evening, raining sideways, and they're greeted with that kind of weather.
We should go into the game full of confidence now anyway.
Absolutely.
And they're certainly going to be up for it, and then you're going to have people like De Bruyne and Fernandinho and company back in the team. It's a great prospect
for each of those today. And Sterling, of course, is another that they got a rest this afternoon. They are the kind of players, De Bruyne and Sterling.
I think there's only Nasri possibly, possibly Yaya as well now, who may be injured for Tuesday. But
Nasri's not in the Champions League squad anyway.
Of course.
Kelechi Iheanacho is. He took his place, didn't he, in the January.
You didn't know he made apple crumble, though, did you?
I didn't know that, to be honest. It's much more important.
So anyway, the signs are good for Tuesday now, aren't they? Everybody's come through,
indeed,
apart from Yaya with that injury. Everybody's come through unscathed. They've all got more minutes under the belt.
Congratulations to Ari and Howard, who told us
the
at half-time that it would be 4-0. And I'm sure if you watch the programme back again on YouTube, you'll see the lad from before the game, before the start of the game, pitch side with Nicola, who I'm sure said Kelechi would get 2 and City would win 4-0. So, you know, let's go and tap him up for a few more predictions in this afternoon's game.
Has he got the numbers for tonight?
Yeah, exactly. So a happier result than we endured last time Stoke City came here, and indeed last time we played them in the Potteries. An excellent performance all round from City. Rarely looked troubled. 10 minutes at the start of each half, really.
Yes,
and
that was it, really. That's the only time, really. Yeah, I think they did have the beach wear on. They didn't. They weren't as probably physically committed as they normally are. I thought it was they're more of a footballing side than they possibly have been in the last few years, which it's obviously stood them in good stead. They probably had the best season in the Premier League ever. So. Full marks, but it is at the end of the season for them. There isn't a great deal to play for them, and no matter what motivation they get in the dressing room, it's always in the back of the player's mind. You know, that extra boost when you are playing for something, as opposed to not really much.
Okay, chappies. So pick your team for Tuesday. Real Madrid, Champions League semi-final.
Right.
I know that we're going on and on about it, but you'll never tire of that.
Tony Corton, Joe Hart, Sanya, Clichy fullbacks, Company, Otamendi centre-backs.
But really, it's a toss-up between the two, isn't it?
Yeah, I know it could go either. I don't think there'll be many complaints either way.
Exactly, exactly.
De Bruyne, so that's 4, that's 5. De Bruyne, 6. Silva, 7. Fernandinho, 8. Aguero, 9.
Navas?
Fernando, 10. Navas or Sterling?
I think Navas will get the nod, because he's fit.
I think he may do. I think
Sterling maybe, just maybe 85–90%.
European squad.
He is, yeah. He took Nasri's place in that European squad. So
he won't start.
He won't, but
I think that.
I think after today,
the players have said, and a bit of a choice between Navas and Sterling. The rest will be solid selections, I think.
I think today, you know, we said pre-match, didn't we, that there's an opportunity now for players to maybe change the mind of the manager going into the game on Tuesday, and I agree that Kelechi won't start the game, but if it comes down to the last 10 minutes of the match and City need a goal, well...
Wouldn't hesitate to put him on more so now than before this game.
Yeah, and also, potentially, more so now than he would Wilfried Bony.
Yeah, I think the manager had his 11 set out in his mind before today. Obviously, with the omission of Fernandinho and De Bruyne and company, those three were definites.
And Sanyo, of course.
And the substitutions today, of course, have hinted towards that as well. Fernando, Aguero, Silva. So you'd think there would be 3 as well as the 3 that have been omitted today. So that's 6. So you've got Joe Hart, that's 7. So it's only really 4 from the rest of the squad that... but he'll know what he's going to play on, barring any injuries from today, of course. But he'll know his starting 11 for Tuesday.
So back to the Premier League then, Chappie. After Real Madrid, tough looking trip down to the south coast to St Mary's to take on Southampton.
Side, always tough to go there. Game we're more than capable of winning at any time in the season. We've got a full squad and they're up for it. We can beat anybody on our day if everybody's up for it and everybody's fit. I suppose a lot will depend on the point difference between us and the 5th position. That could play an influence, but the lads will be going there fully committed and ensuring that they finish in 3rd place at least. 4th isn't their aim.
No, it's got to be 3rd.
3rd place at least is their target.
I think City will. I think City will take 3rd.
I do.
It would be nice to have Andy Morrison back to follow up that question that we asked.
Thought he meant to play then.
Well, yeah, I mean, I'm sure he'd still do a job. Well, I mean, to follow up that question about does today's result have any bearing going into Tuesday, I just wanted to maybe...
Well, I think it gives everybody in the squad a happier feeling and a more confident feeling, which it'll infuse throughout the whole squad and in that dressing room, in the training room, dressing room and that, and when they go out to train next, they'll have that comfortable, confident feeling and having won the previous game, which always helps.
My follow-up to him would have been, does Tuesday's result have any bearing on next weekend in the Premier League at Southampton? Because surely if City get a win on Tuesday night, the whole place will be buzzing, the team will be buzzing. And that will, I mean, he can't help but take that into the next league game. I
think in the sense of, because the game at Southampton is a game that we need 3 points from to finish in at least 3rd place, then I think all the players and everybody involved in the club will realise the importance of that game. If we weren't in a position of fighting for the top 4, say we were mid-table and we were still in the Champions League semi-final and we'd had a great result against Real Madrid at home and the second leg to come with a great chance, then I don't think the emphasis would be on going to Southampton with a vital 3 points to gain. But definitely going, whatever the result at this moment in time against Real Madrid, going to Southampton will be a very, very important game.
And then, of course, on the back of that Southampton game, to Madrid, and then back here for Arsenal.
Oof,
so
what a week!
Huge 10 days or so coming up.
What a week that is.
It's exciting.
The Arsenal game could be the key, of course, couldn't it?
I think if City get the results against Arsenal. I think third place will be sewn up that day.
If we win at Southampton, possibly a draw.
A draw might be enough.
Enough against Arsenal. But if we do beat Arsenal, we win at Southampton, we beat Arsenal, I think the game at Swansea will be immaterial as far as points are concerned. I think we'll have concreted and compounded that third spot.
Arsenal play tomorrow. They go to Sunderland, which...
Fighting for their lives.
Exactly. That's not an easy game.
No.
You would rather a game against a team like Stoke or you know, mid-table teams with not a great deal to play for. And then they host Norwich. It's another...
They'll batter them double figures.
Yeah, well, yeah. And then they come here and then they play against Aston Villa. So they've got 3 of the bottom 4.
Well, you'd think they would.
3 of the bottom 3 maybe over
Sunderland will be tough for them.
Yeah,
the other games will cruise through. This is the big one when we play them here.
Absolutely.
But we've got to get the 3 points at Southampton.
Call it. Where will City finish the Premier League season?
3rd.
Agreed. So we are waiting for the manager. We've got Manuel Pellegrini's press conference coming up for you. But now I think we've got Joe Hart ready for a chat in the tunnel.
Joe, a clean sheet and 4 goals. Was that the ideal scoreline for today, especially given the week that's coming up?
Yeah, definitely. I think it was quite an uncertain feeling in the stadium, not in a bad way, but everyone, obviously quite a lot of people had their eyes on Tuesday. We didn't. We had our focus on today. A tough game against Stoke, who had nothing to lose. We played well and we won the game.
And a word on Kelechi, 19 years old. He scored 11 goals now this season. How bright do you think his future's going to be?
He's done fantastic for us, and every time he's been asked, he's been called on. He's done well. I've put a lot of pressure on him because I think a lot of him as a player. I said he's disappeared since he last scored at Villa Park, so I'm happy that he turned up today for us and he did a really important job.
And you said yourself now all focus is going to move to Tuesday, to our first ever semi-final of the Champions League. How excited are you to be playing in that? And is the preparation going to start now, or are you at least going to give yourself a few hours off?
It's the same, you know, we switch from game to game. It was like the Newcastle game and then we switched to Stoke. It's the same thing for Tuesday night. We can't treat it any differently. We deserve to be in the semi-final and we're going to give it, you know, a great go. Fans are going to be fantastic again and we're looking forward to it.
Thank you very much. Well played. Thank you.
Interesting there, Chappie, that almost they expect Kelechi to be doing that kind of thing, and they said that he disappeared for a bit after that game at Villa Park. But as we just heard, 11 goals this season, 19 years old. He's played a bit part. This kid has got a really bright future, hasn't he?
Good. Well, he has it, but it's vital that you've got people like Joe Hart in the dressing room, not just for encouragement and helping him and giving him confidence, but to remind him to keep his feet on the ground and what he's got to do to get in a position where he is scoring goals and being in the team and starting in the starting lineup every week. The Joe especially will keep reminding him of what he's got to do to achieve that, and the quicker he realises that that's what he's got to do. It obviously looks as though that realisation has sunk in anyway, but he'll keep getting reminders from Joe and other people. Keep his feet on the ground.
Keep working.
Because it's so easy for a young lad to read headlines, get carried away and think
they've
you've made it.
Yes, exactly.
Billy Big Time. And
exactly.
Then, you know.
But I think some people may think that maybe that's a little bit harsh to say, you know, he's gone missing since that game against Villa in the cup where he scored a hat-trick. But that's exactly what you need. You need that to encourage your young players to really, because I'm sure there are lots of young players with all the ability in the world in the youth setup.
Absolutely.
But without the mindset,
throughout history.
Yeah, without the mindset to think, do you know
no
what?
Good at all.
I can dislodge David Silva, Samir Nasri, I can dislodge Otamendi and even the captain, you know.
You've got players with the fantastic attitude who haven't got half the ability of Kelechi, who have fantastic careers.
Exactly.
That attitude's the key. Natural enthusiasm, determination, total commitment for the team,
belief
for the club, confidence, all those things. To make a great player, you've got to have all those things.
Right,
and
fantastic.
A bit of humility as
Absolutely.
well.
Speaking of which, thanks very much.
Great working
Chappie.
with you, Paul, again.
It was a pleasure to spend the afternoon
again,
with you.
This season.
Yeah, I might see you on Tuesday.
Are you working the Arsenal game at home?
No, I'm not, but I will be here for that game, and I'll come and say hello to you.
Okay.
So thanks for joining us. We will leave you with the post-match from City Square, from an empty Etihad Stadium, but one that finished the game. Very happy indeed. We'll say goodbye, and don't forget, stay tuned because Manuel Pellegrini's press conference will come after the City Square post-game. Thanks for joining us, and we'll see you next time. Goodbye.
I want to say been in control, but they've been the better team up until that point. And I think, as I said before, Hugh, I think once you get a goal against a team that, like Stoke, that are going through a really bad patch, not really much confidence throughout the team, I think it changed the swing of the game. And after that, we looked pretty comfortable. Other than a spell early in the second half for them, I thought we looked pretty comfortable overall.
Yeah, the chances, I think, from Shawcross and Joselu in the first, 25 minutes, they had 2 good chances, and I think at that point you were thinking, goodness me, I'm glad that they missed very, very good chances. The penalty came just before half-time. If anybody went for an early visit to the concessions or to the toilets, they might not have seen this before. A little 1-2 attempted between Kelechi Iheanacho here and Yaya Toure, and that's one of the most blatant, ridiculous, and actually given by the linesman rather than Robert Madley, the referee. But he just basically dragged him, realised it was a battle he was going to lose. And I think he almost went, yeah, I knew that was going to be a penalty, until he was given, and then he went, what?
Yeah, well, the referee, because I'm in the south stand and I was looking directly at the referee as it happened, or just after it happened, and the referee was shaking his head. The referee was, to me, was indicating no chance that was a penalty. And then obviously,
really?
and then the linesman give it, and then obviously the referee backtracked and gave it. It's one of them again in the modern game. It probably is a penalty. I mean, it's not the most malicious thing or blatant thing, but you know, it's a foul. It's a
lazy thing. That's what it is. It's a lazy thing. People should be punished for not tracking, and that's simply what Ryan Shawcross did, knowing how quick Kelechi Iheanacho was. Kelechi didn't get a chance to take the penalty, which would have made a hat-trick, obviously, with the 2 that were to follow. Sergio Aguero did. He has been getting a few, not necessarily scoring them all, but this one was really beyond shake even for pace. It was a nice height for the goalkeeper, but beyond him before he could get there. And Sergio Aguero, 23 Premier League goals this season, 28 in all competitions, 7 in the last 5 in the Premier League. And actually, bearing in mind that he's one of those players who has been unfortunate with injuries, to think that he has scored in 5 successive Premier League matches, now 4 different times, it goes to show that were he not injured on the odd occasion, he'd probably be getting 40 a season.
Oh, I pray for us one season to have a fully fit Sergio Aguero for the entire season. He's now 1 goal behind Harry Kane in the running for the Golden Boot. He's played 900 minutes less football than Harry Kane. So that's basically 10 full games less and only scored 1 less goal. Just imagine if we kept him fit for 1 season. He'd be an absolute, he'd be up there as, one of the greatest players in the whole world, if he isn't already. And what was interesting about that penalty is I think most, he's known now for going into the bottom right corner. He missed the penalty down there for PSG. And if you look at his penalty record this season, I think there's only about 2 that haven't gone down into that bottom right-hand corner. But we've had so many penalties lately that it's probably becoming a bit obvious. So for him to take it and to blast it into the middle on the left, it was a brilliant penalty. And to gosh, I really, really, really want him to beat Kane to that Golden Boot award, especially to stuff the PFA awards a bit more.
Yeah, it was quite a nervous run-up from Sergio, I thought. As he's coming up, he's usually quite fluent with his run and strike, but I actually think he's conscious of the fact that he's missed a couple of penalties recently, and he kind of changed direction. He got a bit more lift on it than he normally does. He didn't go kind of perfection into the bottom corner. He kind of lifted it up, keep it out of the way of the goalkeeper. But like Nat says there, I mean, the only thing that absolutely bemuses you is the fact that he's not only not player of the season or has been over the last 5 years, he's never been in the team of the season. How can a player like Sergio Aguero, with the record that Sergio Aguero's got, get overlooked so often? He's absolutely world class, and he proves it season in, season out. And it's just bemusing, to be honest.
Well, you've got to blame the players. It's they who choose. So they need to be watching Match of the Day or watching the television a little bit more often. Or maybe it's just they know he's good and they're giving somebody else a chance. But yeah, that's for another day, perhaps. Here's a striker who's doing rather well just at the moment. That's Kelechi Iheanacho. Let's talk about him for a little while. And his first goal today, which took him to 10 for the season, is incredible. As was the run by Pablo Zabaleta. Goodness me, put it on a plate, didn't he? And that run, he was hugging the touchline, was Pablo Zabaleta. In the old-fashioned winger ways, there was titanium pigment, or whatever they call it, which is now chalk, or used to be chalk, just flying up. There he is, hugging the touchline, out to in, beyond the fullback, pulls it back, Kelechi just stops his run, and that guy, whichever way he finishes, it looks so clinical. He's such a natural finisher. Picks out the gap between goalkeeper and defender, and there it is. 10 in the season for Kelechi, and another great finish.
I mean, you have to give Pablo Zabaleta so much credit there, because he's obviously bust a lung to get down that line. But the movement of Iheanacho, you just look at him and you know he is going to be a sensational player, because he runs, he checks his run, he stops, and the strike isn't anything about power. It's just literally cool, composed, left foot into the bottom corner, just totally away from the goalkeeper. And you know, it does make you wonder again. You know, we talked about there Sergio Aguero missing games this season. Where would Iheanacho be in the scoring charts had he played a lot more games? Because he scored, 11 goals, did you say there? And he's hardly played this season. I think somebody like Pep Guardiola will just love Iheanacho. I think he'll come in next season, and I think he'll want to nurture and he'll get the best. And I think we'll see, particularly next season, I think we're going to see a lot more of Iheanacho, and so we should. He deserves a place in the team. Every time he comes in, he performs and he scores, so you've got to give the guy more of a chance.
Yeah, it's true. 8 starts and 11 goals, although quite a lot of those goals obviously have come in substitute appearances. I think he's made 19 in the Premier League, and it's very difficult. We're talking about minutes with Sergio Aguero and how few he has played comparatively to other Premier League strikers. Well, Kelechi has played few as well, and he's got 11 goals so far this season. We want to make a special recognition now of all those people who are watching on YouTube. Hello. I can't say good morning, good afternoon, or good evening, because it could be everywhere. Welcome all around the world. You are watching on YouTube here as we cower under what is becoming an increasingly more cold afternoon here in Manchester. So if you are watching on YouTube, hello to you all. If you're watching in Nigeria, this is one of your players. Let's have a look at Kelechi Iheanacho's second goal of the game, which came instead from a wonderful pass from Wilfried Bony as he picked him out between the two centre-backs, and then the lightning speed that Kelechi has as he broke through the two centre-backs, took it round the goalkeeper. And like I said earlier on, there are so many different ways to score goals, but every which way that Kelechi scores, he looks so clinical, and this was the one where he took it round the goalkeeper and tucks it in. And we are going to be seeing Kelechi score, I would imagine, a lot of goals for Manchester City, but each moment of composure that he shows and each goal that he delivers, you get a little bit of a sense of what kind of a composed and complete striker he could be.
On the pitch, he certainly comes across as wise beyond his years, and he has a knowing of a level of patience to take his time when he's in front of goal. But we have to talk about the pass from Bony as well. We often sit on this stage and talk about how Bony slows down the play, how he gets the ball and he doesn't move, and he's not got the level of pace that some of the other players. But that was, you know, it came straight to him. He moves it on the play so quickly there, and that is an absolutely perfect pass. That, you know, it's a brilliant finish from Iheanacho, but you have to make sure that you give plenty of plaudits to Bony, which we don't, and we haven't had a chance to often do.
I agree with that, but I mean, for me, Iheanacho's first touch was, again, you talk about Bony moving it quickly. Iheanacho's first touch to get past the defender was just amazing. And then you talk there, Hugh, about the composure of this lad. Everything about that, in what he produced in that move, that lead up to him scoring, was just sensational. He kept his composure. He threw the shoulder on the keeper. He dipped round the keeper. He could have gone down. You know, a lot of players probably would have gone down there and got the keeper sent off. He wanted to stay on his feet and he wanted to score a goal. And another thing that, to me, I don't know whether this is just me, but something that always makes me feel he's a natural as a goal scorer is he doesn't over celebrate. He doesn't get too giddy. He almost looks at it like, well, it's my job to score. And it was a brilliant finish. I mean, you see him there, little drop of the shoulder, really cool, really composed. And again, what a player he could be.
And what's interesting here is that, yes, that first touch is crucial, but when he takes it around the goalkeeper, he also makes sure that he gets the shot away. He doesn't take the extra touch to steady himself, get his balance back.
Manuel, was that just the perfect match for you today, for what you have to do in the league, but also looking ahead to Tuesday?
Yes, I think so, because it was very important to have our mind focused in this game and not in Tuesday. I think that we did exactly the same when we had to play against Paris Saint-Germain. We went to play before against Bournemouth. We made a good game also. And that is the best way to give you trust in what you can do now in Champions League. But I always say that big team must be able to have their minds in both competition and to have the good performance, not just in one of those, in both of them.
In terms of your selections as well, Manuel, must have been really pleased. The players you left out and the time that Silva had and Aguero, did it all just go according to plan?
Yes, I think that, well, always the most important thing is the result. For me, to score 4 goals and to have a clean sheet also is very important. But as I said 1 week ago, we need to play 8 games in 30 days, so it's very important to make some rotations. David was just coming back for ankle injury, so he played 60 minutes. It was enough for him. Fernando has a little pain in his knee, that's why I didn't want him to finish. Kun is playing all the games 90 minutes, so it was good for him to rest. And players as Kevin, that is coming back from an injury, and he played the last 3 games completely. I think that was a risk for him. Not today, but yes, on Tuesday. Fernandinho, same thing, so I think that we make a good mix for the starter 11, and well, the answer was very well.
Manuel, you mentioned Fernando's pain in his knee. Will he be okay? And also Yaya had a bit of treatment. Is he okay?
I think that Fernando will, well, we'll see in the way he improved tomorrow, but I don't think that he will have any problem for Tuesday. Yaya, maybe I will see now tomorrow with the doctor. He will assess him, but I think that he finished with a muscle injury, so we'll see tomorrow.
Were you surprised by the formation and style that Stoke City played today?
Sorry?
Were you surprised by Stoke City's formation today, by the style they played?
No, I think that, that Stoke is in a moment that they are not fighting for nothing, and our starter, I think that was considering a lot of things, so for different reasons, I think that Bouzumane, that was the best.
Silva got a knock from Shawcross in the first half too, Manuel. Is he going to be fine?
Who?
Silva got a knock from Shawcross on his ankle first half.
No, but no, he didn't have any problem. He finished the game, and I just spoke with him, and he told me he was okay.
And Kompany should be okay for Tuesday?
I think also that for Vincent was a risk to play 2 games in 72 hours, so he played today. I think that on Tuesday he can have some problems. Maybe, but I think that was better for him not to take the risk to play today.
But you think he will be okay for Tuesday?
Yes, he's okay. He worked this morning. He's not having any problem.
What do you say of your contribution for the 19-year-old who scored 2 goals today?
Well, a very important contribution, not just for this game. I think that Kelechi will be a player that will have an important role in this club the next years, because he's not only a striker that scores goals inside the box. He's a player that, especially today, he played very well. His contribution also is very important for in the way the team play. He scored 2 goals. He received a penalty, so I think that I'm very pleased for him.
Has he got a chance of figuring against Real on Tuesday?
All the players have a chance to be. And remember that I put him in the squad list for the Champions League and took out Saminari. So of course it's an alternative or a player that can be involved in every game.
Were you concerned about the amount of chances Stoke created in the second half?
Well, I think that maybe at the beginning we started the second half not with the intensity that we finished in the first half, so it's important to keep a clean sheet. Yes, they still have a couple of chances at the beginning. I think that those distractions is very important not to do in Champions League.
Okay. Monday.
Ready? Bye. Thanks.
Well, a fantastic result here at the Etihad Stadium, 4-0 the final score, and we hope you have enjoyed today's episode of City TV Live. We'll be back, not next week, but the following week when we play Arsenal in our final game of this season, our final home game, I should say, of this season before Swansea away finishes us off the following week. We hope you've enjoyed the show, and we'll see you then.